Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek Cast number 115, Clown World. How are you doing right now, Israel? You're the only person on right now besides me.
I'm doing excellent, Adrian. Let's see. Taking tomorrow off of work. First day off. A weekday that I've taken off since probably early last year. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Friday is Good Friday, and we're closed, so I'm gonna have a 4-day weekend. So I'm excited. How are you?
Basically okay. Working on new job stuff. So far, it's been mostly just helping people out with proposal papers and so forth, and uneventful.
Yeah.
Prepping up to go to a few conferences. Like B-Sides Charm is coming up. Then I also got B-Sides. Why is it not coming to my head right now? B-Sides. No, it's not B-Sides. Not NolaCon. No B-Sides to it. And then I know I got Circle City Con coming up, and also Show Me Con.
Okay.
Show Me Con's always fun. It's a 4-hour drive away, but I mean it's a really nice venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a little casino that's technically it's not in St. Louis, it's in St. Charles.
Yeah.
But it's like a suburb, so same difference as far as I'm concerned.
Very nice. Yeah, let's see cons. Right now, there's an event in Orlando at the very end of this month that I'm going to. And then got 614 Con coming up here in Columbus.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about that. I have to look into the date of it because how much does it cost to attend? Because I haven't been invited to like record or anything.
So it's around 200 right now. They're still not recording. I mean, there's pluses and minuses. Information doesn't get out, but also you can have more information spread within.
Yeah.
So
and some people want to talk on shit they don't want to actually make public.
Exactly. Yeah. So they're much more free to disclose things.
But $200, I can't justify it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about. I think it's like 185 or something for general ticket, and then ticket plus, kind of a fun, quirky badge is like maybe 205 or 210, somewhere in there.
I see my supposed sock puppet is in the YouTube chat. Hi, Tawny. Someone was so funny with my sock puppet. I'm like, you realize that other people disagree with you, right?
We got a Hong Kong and a high. So hey, Darren popped in. How are you doing, Darren?
Oh, not bad. About the same as usual.
Okay.
I actually added a few things to the show notes this time around.
Hey, Hey, round of applause. So I found out the other day, I'm going through license, looking at stuff, and I pull out a CCW, and lo and behold, it expired March 17th of this year.
Oh, shit. Man.
Whoops.
My Indiana one is like lifetime.
Yeah. So, yeah, guess what I'll also be doing tomorrow? Going down to the good old sheriff's office and getting my paperwork resubmitted.
If you move to Indiana for a month, got a lifetime here, then move back to Ohio, and there's reciprocity. Actually, I think they may have a stipulation on there that you have to be a current resident. I don't know.
Yeah. I know there used to be reciprocity with Indiana, and I was looking through it the other day, and Indiana does not show up on the reciprocity list now for Ohio.
I'm in Indiana, and Ohio shows up as reciprocity.
Which I understand, but because Indiana, as long as you haven't had a mental illness, all kinds of stuff, you don't have to go through the training for your carry and conceal. Or at least the NRA basic pistol course or whatever it's called. But Ohio you do, and that could be why they dropped Indiana. Really? No, that's backwards. So you can carry in Ohio, though.
I can carry in Ohio last I checked. Then again, maybe the website I checked on was out of date.
Yeah, because the way it would make sense is the person who went through the course could carry in a place that allows CCW where they didn't go through the course because they have more training,
Yeah, Indiana, I
Yeah,
just walk in.
that's
I had to get a replacement here recently because I lost my wallet. And
Yeah.
the old cards were like just paper, and they would fall apart really easy. And you think you technically weren't supposed to laminate them. The new ones are like hard plastic.
oh, that's good. Yeah, because ours are hard plastic. I wouldn't. That's like Social Security cards. I think that's absurd that Social Security cards are little nothing pieces of paper that can burn, get shredded, get everything. Really simplistic, get lost. But that's your well-being your entire life.
I may have to get me a new security card now that I think about it because I lost my original.
Yeah. Things about it. At least whenever we got my wife's Social Security card, I think it was about a 30-day turnaround time. So go in and request it, and they mail it to you.
Well, I already have 2 forms of ID because I have a passport and I have my driver's license.
Yeah.
Well, if you got a passport, what do you need your social security card for? Because anything that requires proof of social security, your passport has. In order to get a U.S. passport, you have to have social security. The State Department checks that.
Man, it's been a while since I even looked at my passport. Is my Social Security number on there?
No, but
Oh,
it
okay.
is checked by the State Department, so it is proof basically.
Okay.
And you can always use like a W-2 or W-4 as well, because those are documents.
Yeah. Very cool.
Well, we only have. And how you doing, Dan? Everything good?
Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, FYI, if you used to get a passport, because if you ever do an I-9 for employment, that's all you have to show, a passport. You're done.
Right.
Yes. Awesome.
Do you know if Caprico is going to be on?
I do not. I have not talked to him.
Yeah,
He did post a really cool meme on Facebook this morning, though.
Sorry for getting a late start to this. I was out hiking, then I went by the vape shop for some stuff, and then one thing came to another, and took a shower, and barely got back in on time.
Hey, I mean, we're all just really glad to hear you are taking showers.
Oh, yeah.
That's
It's not like you can smell me over Google Hangouts.
No, it's just I'm the next state over, so it was that bad.
All right, into the show notes. We got
Okay, hitting the breach report. First up, Microsoft customer service gets phished. And for anybody watching, if you're a first-time listener or just been listening for a while and do not know, on YouTube, if you look over to the left underneath the video, Agent Crenshaw right now says started stream 7 minutes ago, but underneath that, show notes, the Google Docs, click that. You can follow along show notes along with what we're going through, as well as there's a Patreon link underneath there. So, FYI. So Microsoft, this is a interesting one. So a customer service representative, from what it sounds like, was successfully phished, and then the attacker was able to get their credentials. And then once they got their credentials, they were able to access the email of 6% of all, it sounds like, Hotmail, MSN, and Outlook, personal Outlook, not corporate, but personal Outlook email of like everybody. And I mean, Hotmail is for the most part, I think, dead, but I'm sure there's still some stragglers out there using it in MSN. But Outlook Personals, I'm sure, fairly popular now. But you're talking, because they haven't released any actual like hard numbers, but you still have to be talking millions upon millions of just individual accounts, and then you're looking at 6% of those. So it's still at very minimum probably in the 50,000 plus range. And they did send out an email to everybody affected. Dear customer, we have identified that a Microsoft support agent's credentials were compromised. Yeah, because they opened up a fish, enabling individuals outside Microsoft to access information without your Microsoft email account. This unauthorized access could have allowed unauthorized parties access and or view information related to your email, such as your email address, folder names, subject lines of the emails, and the names of other email addresses you communicate with, but not the content of any of the emails or attachments. I did see one other thing where it was speculated that the content of the email could have been accessible too, but Microsoft didn't state that. So, and to remedy it, they have shut down the compromised account. Didn't say anything about like phishing awareness or increasing security around phishing emails, but they shut down the account.
Yay!
Yay. Okay, next up. We have a data breach at Minnesota State Agency. And placing state agency email, placing the data of 11,000 at risk. I forget how the breach occurred. It is the third time they've been breached within the last year. And okay, so they probably brute forced an employee's account. It says a hacker unlawfully logged into a state email account of a DHS employee and used it to send 2 emails to one of the employee's coworkers, asking that coworker to pay an invoice by wiring money. I mean, so the 11,000 potentially affected. Yeah, they could be affected, but they were most likely trying to, get the information over to finance in some way, accounts payable, and get them to pay it, coming from somebody in a leadership capacity. But they were on the system, and they would have had access to, it sounds like, quite a bit of data on some of these different employees and whatnot. Poor Minnesota. It's hot and cold and nothing in between. Okay, next up. Well, now your third-party IT support is trying to hack you. This one's fun. There's a company out there called YPro, and they are I think it was the 3rd largest outsourcing IT company in India. And yeah, India's 3rd largest IT outsourcing company. And so what has happened here is their systems have been breached, and hackers were able to gain access into their systems. And they are a third-party outsource, so people in the U.S., in India, different places globally, will utilize their services for basic IT tasks, administrations, help desk. I think they do even some systems-related things, and most likely network too.
They do, and like most, they're fucking god awful at it.
Yeah. Hey, but he's John from Texas. But so their internal systems were breached. And from that, the attackers then pivoted from what were they called? YPro internal systems to starting to target their client systems. So that's just that's a third party. That's just bad all around. YPro says it has more than 170,000 employees, helping clients across 6 continents with Fortune 500 customers in healthcare, banking, communications, and other industries. And their current revenue is over $8 billion. So, I mean, they're not small by any means. And as far as I can tell, they didn't name, at least in the Krebs article, which of their clients were being targeted. Yeah, I'm not seeing which clients were targeted, but given some of the high-profile clients I have, the company or the attackers are going to be targeting some of those high-profile, big money companies.
Well, they're not going to say for reasons of NDA. That's pretty much why.
Well, for now, until those companies come forward and disclose that they were breached. And that, I mean, and honestly, if I were one of those companies right now, would be the perfect time to come forward and say, just because we were breached and it was a result of this vendor, Home Depot. Home Depot suffered next to nothing, but that's just me. And next, oh yeah, this one's fun. So this is a leak. Next up, this is kind of a leak. A company called Home Office, and the title of the story is Home Office, sorry for the EU citizen data breach. And what this was, they were sending emails out to 200 of their clients, and an administrator sending the email did not BCC the email and just straight sent the email with all 240 email addresses, fully legible to everyone who received it. So just and this is going to be, hit a GDPR types of stuff, and it's completely incidental. Could have been easily corrected. Check twice, measure twice, cut once. Check your emails before you send them, and that's good just in business practice in general, because that first draft is usually crap. Go back and modify it and make changes. And my son also is completely against sending this many emails out to everyone. But yeah, go back, make your changes, make your revisions, double check everything all the time, because that's just a stupid mistake that could have easily been avoided. And that is all for the breach report.
Cool beans.
There you go.
All right, we got vulnerable stuff up next.
We do have vulnerable stuff. La 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 la. Okay, so I'm not going to dive deep into these. First one up here, we have, I titled it, I know you won't ever believe this, but Internet Explorer, it's vulnerable. There is kind of a 0 day for cross-site scripting. Oh, wait, was this? No, this is the let me see, yeah, an XML external entity attack. So with a crafted MHT file locally. So Internet Explorer is not immediately addressing this. The first one that goes to altravista.org that I posted is the person who came up with the exploit and details it out. And since Microsoft is not patching it, some security researchers have decided to throw up a temporary patch until they do. Again, we are not endorsing this in any way, but if you feel you want to or need to install this patch from a third party, that's up to you. Or you could also uninstall Internet Explorer if you feel it's a big enough risk that you need to get rid of it now. But I threw that link in there. It's the secondary underneath there. So, yep, Internet Explorer is currently vulnerable. Next, we have Shimo VPN service. I have the blog post from Talos on here. I think there's like 5 or 6 different vulnerabilities that are exploitable. And as far as I know, it has not yet been patched. So if you use Shimo VPN, be aware. And then last up for vulnerable stuff is WordPress pre 5.1.1, which is the current build. I didn't see when it came out. I think it was late March area though. But anything prior to 5.1.1 is vulnerable to cross-site scripting, and I have the a link there to Security Boulevard explaining that out a little bit. So we can finish up the vulnerable stuff and hit one of Adrian's.
Yeah, I believe the first one I put in there is Assange arrested.
Yeah,
So I've heard mixed things on this, and dude, Assange is one of those controversial figures. The right or the left love him or hate him, depending on what the thing he's doing at the time. Like, he released some stuff underneath of, or some of the earlier stuff was released underneath George Bush, the collateral damage, with the collateral murder. Is that what they called that video? You know what I'm
yeah, I
talking
think so.
about? That was underneath the Bush administration, was it not?
Oh, was he around that early?
I thought that was it.
No, that was Manning, wasn't it?
Well, but Manning worked with Assange.
Correct.
Yeah. WikiLeaks did the
I thought
cables.
WikiLeaks was 2010.
They released all the cables,
In 2010?
the diplomatic cables. Yeah.
I want to say there was something they released underneath the George Bush administration that people did not like. Oh, WikiLeaks collateral murder, Iraq, 2007 is when it happened. When it was
Okay.
actually released, I'm not quite sure. Overview, actually, all right. So maybe it was released underneath the Obama administration. No,
Could
the
have been. But yeah, so data from the Bush administration that was finally gotten and released under the Obama administration.
Now, people are saying that he's purely a journalist because he just released this thing, but I also heard that he helped Manning crack a password to be able to access the data.
Yeah. And
Maybe
from-
not that, but other things.
yeah. And as far as I can tell, I haven't seen anything that confirmed that. I've seen that it's crap. What's some of the legalese terms? That's kind of what he's being charged with.
Yeah,
But-
Caleb was saying the helicopter video was Bush administration, but I think the release may have been while Obama was in office. But regardless,
Yeah. But yeah, if he did in fact, and that's why I think it really should go in front of a court of law, if there is evidence showing, proving that he kind of contracted Manning and said that he would crack the password and this and that, then yeah, he was in conspiracy for espionage.
agreed.
But
just
if it,
he would be a journalist.
yeah, just releasing the stuff,
It's
yeah.
a different issue.
yeah, it's in the public domain. He got it and published it. So,
But right left people seem to have views going back and forth depending on who's helping at the time. Like, a lot of people was a Russian stooge because some of the stuff he released helped Trump. The other people upset with Trump because Trump isn't instantly pardoning him. Like Cassandra Fairbanks is upset about that.
Yeah.
At the same time, if he did apologize, if he did pardon him, everybody's going to bring up the whole Russiagate bullshit again, which Rachel Maddow, who is basically a less attractive version of Alex Jones, but on the left, it still won't shut up about that shit.
didn't Obama pardon Manning?
Yes.
I thought so.
But then Manning's back in last I checked because they wouldn't reveal information on Assange, was it? Or who was it? There was someone they would not witness for it. I can't remember all the details.
Oh,
Just notes because I'm kind of ignorant on the issue.
yeah, that I don't know.
Oh,
I mean,
so it was more than just releasing confidential docs. My understanding. There was some active efforts on WikiLeaks' part of cracking some passwords, or at least Assange's part.
Yeah, the passwords is the main point that I've heard they may have a case on, but it all depends on what the evidence is, though, too. And maybe
Yelling about Assange being a traitor, though, and Assange isn't American. He's Australian, am I correct?
Assange is Australian?
I believe. Let me look it up.
I don't know. All those accents sound the same to me. I'm a white boy.
He was born in Australia. That's
Okay.
right. Queensland, Australia.
Queensland. And we got multiple confirmations from YouTube. Thank you. Hey, Cappy, why aren't you on? Cappy's even over on YouTube typing.
Come on, we need a younger demographic in here.
Yeah, we need to get that Gen Z well in illegal territory. Oh, you are currently? Then why are you on your phone on YouTube? Okay, you're in a hotel. Put clothes on. You don't even have to turn your video on.
How much does that a hotel cost per hour?
Does the bed vibrate?
The magic fingers.
Is the tub in the shape of a heart? Did you take Lysol with you? And a black light?
You really don't want to do that in most hotel rooms,
He said it cost $20. Hey, Cappy, $20 is $20. We get it.
right? How do you think he made the rate?
Cappy's like, it's $20, but I'm staying here for free.
Of course you are.
Because $20 is $20. Jump on, youngin.
Man, I'm trying to get some people to not interest. I can't get Mark to go because he doesn't want to ever explore an active train tunnel. But it looks like there's enough space on one side. There's something called the Tunnelton Tunnel in Indiana. I think it's about an hour and 45 minutes away from me.
No, wait. Say that again.
The Tunnelton Tunnel.
That is the worst name ever. The Tunnelton Tunnel.
Yes. It's supposed to be haunted and all that shit. Not that I believe in ghosts, but it looks creepy as hell. So I figured it'd be a fun side trip. Like go out to Mary's, eat some barbecue, then go out and explore a haunted spot.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty sweet.
You guys are mean.
We don't know
Not
what you're
yet,
talking about.
Not yet, we're not.
Yeah, we're just getting warmed up.
Yep. Now I'm just walking into the beating now.
You're welcome. Hey, that's what we do. The elders are supposed to beat the youngers.
Sure.
Oh, that's what I've actually put in here. But I've been went to Harbor Freight today, and I found out they have like these Pelican case knockoffs that look pretty sturdy, but I haven't used them. Some people in my Twitter thread are actually replying to it, but they're called Apache, and they come with pick and pack, or what do they call that pick and pluck foam stuff?
Yeah,
and they're a lot cheaper. Like the 1510 size? I think that's the size. The one that's the carry-on size. It's like $89 before any kind of discount.
Really?
And usually you can always find a Harbor Freight 20% off coupon.
Yeah.
Or more.
Did oh crap. Just completely left what yeah, do they have different sizes?
They do, but they don't have anything bigger than like that carry-on size.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the name of it? Do you remember?
Apache.
There's
a picture in my Twitter timeline. A bunch of people were mentioning, and some people used it, and they said it's not bad for the price.
Yeah.
It's
like I said, it's if I'm going to want something durable, I'm willing to pay for the Pelican price because I know I'll get something sturdy. It's a little bit peace of mind.
I'll tell you what though, with Harbor Freight, every once in a while you do find a gem. I don't know if they still sell the exact model that I have, but my sump pump that I got from there, $100, and it's a 3/4 horsepower, I think, but it was $100, straight before any discounts. The equivalent, like a Flowtech or Flowmaster, whatever it is at Home Depot, is over $200, and I have had zero issues with this thing, like zero. By far the best sump pump I've had yet, and I've unfortunately had to have quite a few.
Well, my buddy Mikey says, buy something at Harbor Freight. If you use enough to break it, you need to invest in a better version.
Yeah. But even without that, though, they have a lifetime warranty on all their stuff. So if it breaks, hey, just replace it.
Yeah.
I usually use it for, like, electronics are always a little bit suspect.
Yeah.
Anything with a motor is also a little bit suspect. But, general things like hammers and screwdrivers and shit like that,
Yeah. I bought a 6-ton press from them for some gun work, and it's done fine.
I've done. I think I probably have that. The orange, is it orange? Yeah, I have that exact same one.
Yep.
I used that for jacking the house up at one point whenever I was putting a header in.
Yeah. It was like $120, and I bought it I think like Labor Day last year.
Yeah.
So with the discount, I had basically had free shipping, so I shipped right to my door for about the same price as you would in store. So I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's sweet. I've honestly, because there's one 20 miles from me, 15 miles, somewhere in there. So I've never even thought about ordering any of it online just because it was so close.
Yeah, but it's also a big, heavy object. I'm like, yeah, someone else can bring it to my doorstep. That's kind of it.
Good call.
So where are we at in the show notes, guys?
Julian Assange. We
Then
flew
you
through
probably-
Breach and vulnerable stuff. Did you have any comments on anything in Breach or vulnerable?
I've been on site for the last few days, so I have not been able to look at anything. But all of this.
Well, that's
looks
horrible.
to be-
I mean, because I've done so much planning. I had all these things, even the stuff articles that just came out today. I had all of these articles on here last Sunday.
Okay, one, impossible, but keep telling yourself that unless you're a time traveler. Dun dun dun.
Shh, nobody's supposed to know.
Mm.
And I time
So-
travel in 3-day time frame, so yeah, pretty sweet.
You know that would actually be awesome because then if you're just done with Wednesday, you just skip to Saturday.
Oh, nah, I'm thinking more going back. Stock markets. If there's a horse track in town, all that fun stuff.
There's like online horse tracks, right?
Yeah, but not that I can jump back 3 days and place bets, 3 days ago.
Well, if you jump back in time, and then you can just put the data there.
But
Just
two,
memorize things.
we're all ethical here, and so
Are we?
if it is illegal in your state, technically you should not be able or allowed and or engaging in it online.
Right. Well,
Since we're all ethical.
pretty sure most states you're allowed to do that, but that's a different topic. So yeah, Assange arrested. Cool. I now am up to speed on what has been talked about.
I'll tell you what, though, like on Assange, man, he looked rough when he came out.
Yeah, he was looking.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's been living in a shoot. What's it called?
Embassy. Yeah,
In an embassy.
basically
Yeah.
an office building for like what, 5 years.
And I've heard
Yeah.
mixed things about how good of a house guest he was, which I understand after being there about 7 years, you get a little stir crazy. But people are saying shit like he didn't clean up his after his cat, and he was like had put shit on the walls, and it's all sorts of shit that Apparently, he was using internet access that they didn't approve of, which I don't totally get the complaint on that. But I want
to access WikiLeaks and see what new stuff is getting published out there.
And I guess communicate with them as well.
Now, is he still the owner of WikiLeaks?
I think so.
Oh, interesting. So he still could have potentially had like some income coming in from that.
Yeah, but you can't always spend it that well because he's stuck there.
Yeah, but there's Amazon.
Yeah.
The only thing they don't do now is vehicles. Cappy, you're breaking up.
And even, sorry, the better or
Yeah,
no?
that's better.
Okay, sorry about that. Well, even like I'm out in California right now, it will not take long for Tesla and Amazon to just be like, hey, if you have a Prime membership, here's a real nice rate on your new Tesla.
Yeah, and I kind of figure we're going to see that with Prime. I did want to read this real quick. Credo said that he was being blackmailed by staff at the embassy, according to a solicitor. So, yeah, that would kind of suck too. I wonder what kind of blackmail they get. But on the on the Prime side, though, Costco is working with organizations now or different car companies to offer discounted cars and vehicles. Is Walmart? I'm kind of thinking I did see something, but I can't confirm that.
Okay,
Walmart.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Charles is here.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Checking and wrecking.
But Costco's also doing like travel packages.
Uh-huh.
So if
They've been doing that for a while.
Yeah, so if Amazon doesn't do that, I definitely see the potential of them entering into like the car
Right.
side and like travel side like within the next year to 2 years.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't see that either, or see that not happening either.
Yeah, could be
But
interesting.
yeah, so back to Assange, what I was saying about the password cracking in the
The tube of you.
yeah, in the tube chat, we'll call it that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure cracking passwords that you can get from a release would be the legality there, especially if you know that it's from like a federal facility. So
Yeah, I mean,
they
yeah.
could charge him on like attempts to uncover sensitive information or government information or confidential information and then throw it under that. But that's still a real big stretch. But this is going to go to like government court. It's not going to go to it's not going to go to like a local courthouse or something like that.
And I honestly haven't been keeping up. Who took him into custody? So the embassy threw him out. Say it again.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Why? I was about to ask who took him into custody, and why did the embassy throw him out?
Because he was acting like a dirty old man.
At least that's the claim. Most people object to that and say that's not the case. But quite frankly, I can buy him just being stir crazy and doing silly shit, being rude to the local attendees. And some shit, there's something about putting shit on the walls.
I didn't see that one, but I could imagine. You know, you've been somewhere. How many years?
Almost
4 years. How many?
So this,
I think almost 7.
Whoa! Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, so this does sound like a smear campaign. But boom. But
I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
No. I was like, yeah, but that's. I don't know, man. Yeah, if he did something like that, then yeah, he deserves to be out. But yeah, this is gonna suck for him. So I wonder what's gonna happen now. Unless you got more insight, Israel.
I don't. You know, like my big question is who was he taken into custody by who? Because I know he was taken in custody, but I don't know by who. And will they extradite him to the U.S. You know, for court appearances? You know,
I hope not.
I mean, but that's the thing. If he was willing to, you know, as it's been stated, hack passwords, and they have a evidence of it, you know, so be it. If they don't have a strong case, and I don't think they would try to, you know, go after him like they have been all these years if they didn't have, you know, email records or something like that. A while back, man, was that last year or the year before last? I remember a lot of uproar about WikiLeaks, and you could look at what was it? They were injecting into a blockchain, you know, to preserve the original documents, because I think they were claiming that FBI, CIA, somebody was gaining access to their site and changing documents and information that they were posting. Something like that. If that was in fact true, I mean, they could have potentially easily got email records, you know, because you're going halfway decent at that point. But if they're putting agencies against them, they can do that. And kind of manipulate PDFs and whatnot on the fly and make it look original that next to nobody would ever, you know, have an issue with. You know, they could have intercepted emails, or there could have been, you know, we talked about earlier, Obama pardoned Snowden, or not Snowden, Manning, and potentially Manning passed and forwarded over and gave all email accounts of any interactions that occurred. I mean, that could be the case too, and maybe they're basing a case off that.
Okay, could be.
So the answer who has him in custody right now is he was in custody at the latest point that I can find is that he was taken into custody by London police because the Ecuadorian embassy that he was staying in was based in London. So he got picked up by London, who is probably in the process of extraditing him to the United States so that he can stand trial for whatever case that the U.S. government throws at him.
Yeah. And beating him with billy clubs. What do they call them over there? I know it's a funny word.
Truncheons.
Is that what it is? That doesn't sound English at all.
Trun. It's like trench. Truncheon. They spell it.
Truncheons. Okay. Not as funny as I thought.
Well, I have a question. So here's the thing, too. If Assange, say Assange gets brought back to the United States, and it's just my personal opinion, I think that's the last we'll see of Assange. I think they would kill him.
I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
There's enough pound me in the ass prisons out there.
That true, but just to make that's true, but just to make a statement, just to kind of set an example of the world before the world. Yeah, they can easily put him in jail and call it a day. But I think if they bring him back here to the States, I think they're gonna set out, and especially Donald. I do believe that Donald Trump might, just to set an example, make an example out of Assange, like, whoever should come after him, this is what can happen to you. So I think they'll probably, I think they probably would kill him. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. If they do, like, if Assange dies in U.S. custody, that's a giant red flag because I would almost guarantee, or at least I would think, that WikiLeaks is not run by Assange anymore. So WikiLeaks someone would say something about that new, because that's a huge story, and then that just ends up on WikiLeaks or is published outright to news outlets. Because so that would then paint this administration and the government and just the U.S. government in itself.
It just looked bad. Killed him
in the wrong. It would look really, really bad for the government. So there's no, putting him in jail is, it looks bad for the government because all he's doing is putting,
right,
quote unquote, all he's done is put out information, end quote.
Right.
It's not like Hillary was elected or anything. I don't think they're going to kill him.
Well, I'm just saying, sometimes you gotta, the reason I just think like that, especially in the 21st century that we're in, and how just things that we didn't think would happen is just happening. And now when something comes up, especially something like this, I would think the same thing if this was Eric Snowden, and they brought him back to the state. I would think the same thing, because it's just, I don't know. It's just an eerie feeling. I hope they don't bring him back to the States. And that's just a personal opinion. Just, like I said, lock him up. Whatever you have on him, charge him, due process, lock him up, and then everybody can just move on with their lives. There'll be a new copycat, probably 2 years, 3 years from now, or it's probably already in the works right now.
But too, Adrian, you did say Hillary, and you got to remember, WikiLeaks did have a huge Hillary email dump.
Yep.
So if she could get her hands on him, I guarantee she would.
Yeah, and plus on top of that, only reason I thought that they would try to make an example of him, because here's the thing: to the average person, we understand a lot more because all of us in this channel, we actually read and we actually look at what's there, but we also do our due diligence when it comes to research and understanding things that is going on behind the scenes as well as in the public. So, but to the average person right now, if you were to step out of your houses and go down the street and you see a crowd of people like, oh yeah, you've heard of WikiLeaks before, right? And they're like, oh yeah, the Assange guy, Julian Assange, without anything, and knowing, even though we might understand that he no longer runs WikiLeaks, but to the average person, they'll always link him with that. One, two. That's why I say, if they were to, like I said, even though it would look bad for the government to kill him, the average person would still think like, okay, well, they made an example out of Assange, even though he never run WikiLeaks before. So it's kind of like just kind of making, I guess, I don't know what to call it. It's just
Making an example of him would be.
They would
what I
martyr
say.
him at that point.
Martyr him. Yes. Yeah. But towards a impressionable public, I'll put it that way. Because we know the public, 90% of America does not read. Let's call it what it is. They don't read. And
that's our public school for you.
Unfortunately, yeah, seriously, unfortunately, the American news, our newspaper now has become Facebook for a lot of people. That's become like right now. I could hop onto my account. And I can log in and says hello,
Charles. How are you? Would you like a back massage?
Right. I can put. You know what? I can say put on my account. Hey, Donald Trump just came to my house and we discussed plans and everything else, and people would probably believe that. And if I modify it and Photoshop it and put it up and be like me sitting there with Donald Trump, some people would actually believe that.
I don't know if they would believe it if you put something positive. Now, if you said, I got a call and apparently Donald Trump is targeting me and going down that road of negativity, I think a lot more people would believe that.
Oh yeah, they would believe it. They would believe it if I sat down. Yeah, I just got a letter from the president today, and he said I better stop all this crazy posting videos on Twitter, or else he's gonna come have a conversation with me. People would believe that. They would literally believe that. Like, oh my God, why are they attacking this guy? He doesn't even do anything to anybody.
Dang, that's how you get Twitter followers, man.
What?
Get assaulted by the president. You can get Twitter followers. That is the secret. Yeah.
No,
I didn't realize.
I don't want that.
Yeah, Crypto in the chat says something about Assange. He was being blackmailed by the staff at the embassy, according to his solicitor.
Oh wow.
I don't know. See, there's a bunch of rumors going on about this, and some of the people I listen to is not necessarily how to put it this way. There's some question about how accurate they are.
Yeah,
but they all have a lot of media reporters are not just reporters; they're activists, one way or the other.
Everybody's an activist, according to with social media. Everybody's an activist,
at least have the opportunity for it.
If Assange ever, had an opportunity to give an interview of what went on, I honestly don't know if I'd be able to trust him. He's such a absolutely flamboyant person that he comes off like he wants to make a show out of everything.
He does.
I think he would just embellish whatever happened, so it's impossible to know what did happen.
I got the perfect first interview. Milo Yiannopoulos interviews Julian Assange.
Ooh, that would be interesting. Yeah.
Or the other way around. Or the other way around.
I would see. Oh yeah, but I mean, I could see that. Why not?
Credo also said, I often wondered if WikiLeaks was influenced by state actors without Assange knowing. Always strange that it was U.S. document leaks. I mean, you take what you can get. And the majority of the stuff that happened while Assange was out and somewhat free, not behind closed doors and running and everything else. So I think state actors could have influenced WikiLeaks website, but I still think Assange was running things at WikiLeaks and doing the vast majority. And he was very public about that back in the day, that he was, from hotel rooms and stuff, still updating WikiLeaks and, heading WikiLeaks up. He was very vocal about that.
As far as I understand, even the allegations against him over the years from pundits in the intelligence community and the government, U.S. government, has traditionally been he has been a tool of the Russians by publishing the material they hacked. At no point they could say the same thing about any outlet that publishes anything that Russian hackers give them. It's not necessarily saying it is a spy handler-handly arrangement. It's I don't think anyone's ever alleged that he is directly working for the Russians. No.
Yeah.
I don't think many people have alleged that. Some people obviously
Yeah,
have.
yeah, that's kind of absurd. And then Credo did follow up. I mean, the information that was posted. I mean, could be if and we'll, unless you have top secret access, we'll probably never know. It would only be speculation if they did in fact were able to plant information that was then, you know, taken out of the different organizations and hand over to WikiLeaks, you know, and you get false information in that, you know, maybe. I think it's going to be very difficult, especially given that, you know, Manning wasn't even like security, right? He was a low level like systems guy, right?
I think so.
Or she or whatever.
Wasn't he an analyst?
Yeah.
Yeah, Manny was an analyst.
Yeah.
Well, what's his name? I went to Russia. Shit.
Snowden.
Snowden. Yeah, he was security. He was. I think he was a security analyst. So.
Oh, okay.
Here's a question. Speaking of Snowden, right? With everything that's happening to Assange, you think Snowden's worried now?
He's still in
No.
Russia, right?
Yeah, he's either Russia or China, and they'll tell America.
No, he's not worried at all. No.
Yeah.
Not for his physical safety, but I don't know. You gotta think it probably can't be super comfortable there.
I mean, but
I wouldn't be comfortable.
You're not going to use spies and whatnot and assets in countries just for like a Snowden. I mean, yes.
No, that's not worth the
it's not
risk
worth
of a
the
black
effort.
mission.
Yeah.
Or risk and potential fallout of a black mission. That's just like
Yeah.
For those not in the know, what does black mission mean?
Covert, usually clandestine, usually illegal operation. So if
the ones that don't make the books.
Yeah, it's the types where if you're caught, they disavow you. You are operating rogue. Good luck with that. Have fun in the gulag.
Yeah. So Credo said he could become a bargaining chip at any time. For what though? China already owns all the debt. China has back-end channels with Russia. I mean,
he's in Russia right now, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he may be traveling between the two, but he isn't like trapped in an embassy. You know, he can go out. He can breathe fresh air. He can do whatever he wants.
As long as that fresh air is never in a country with an MLAT with the U.S.
Exactly. Now, if there were some crazy circumstance where the U.S. regained control of their debt and actually got their head out their butt, and somehow we came to terms with Russia and we're actually on good terms, which there's no chance that's going to happen. Right. I mean, at that point, maybe. But
maybe sometime in Snowden's life. Maybe sometime in his life.
Maybe when he's like 70 or 80. I mean, it's
after Cold War 2.0 ends.
Yeah, it's not going to be any time in the near future.
Right. But I guess there is one other possible risk. Maybe planes. If Snowden really is traveling between Russia and China, I don't know. Just you saying this is the first I've ever heard of that. If that really is the case, then if one of those planes ever gets hijacked and lands in a country,
or it could be walking.
Hey,
that'd be a cold ass walk.
Yeah, but if it gets hijacked, then he might have to worry.
Yeah, I mean, I just still don't see putting resources and risking it over him.
Well, I guess going off getting Snowden would be more so symbolic than anything.
Yeah.
Or if nothing else, I'm sure cathartic to a lot of members of the intelligence community.
I mean, yeah.
Because let's face it, it's not done good things for not done good things for the U.S. intelligence community.
Agreed. And again, if they were to do that and were found out, oh man, can you imagine the press on that?
If they did what?
If they were to run a black ops to get him.
Oh yeah, if they killed him, he'd be a fucking martyr.
Yeah. I mean,
No, it's like same thing with Assange. They're not going to kill him. They're not going to make a martyr out of him.
Yeah.
Not when they have such big support bases. My God, no, they're not that stupid. I would hope not.
I hope not. I gotta say, hope not nowadays, man. I see. We're just living in weird times, my friends.
There
Oh,
would
God,
be
yes.
an uptick in. I would almost guarantee there would be an uptick in anonymous activity.
I tell you right now,
Oh,
that happens.
God.
If that would happen, I'd just build a bunker, just go underground. I couldn't do it.
did
That would be
Not
Any-
like script kiddie kind of stuff. Like they would
Greg
get a
Q.
ton of new members.
Speaking of anonymous, fucking Greg Q, anonymous in Russia. Yeah, Greg Q actually, I had a brief DM message with him a few months back, and he showed me how an example of Russia using the face of anonymous to expose those dirty Americans.
Oh, screw that! Adrian
But
took a
it
shower
was-
today.
It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. The propaganda was mainly seemed to be meant to fool from the Russian government trying to fool the Russian people. For us, it looks so transparent. To me, it looks so transparently corny that it screams really shitty government op. At least Greg Hughes seemed to think that, it's because they're fooling their own people. They don't know any better. They don't really need to put in better effort.
Wait, is Greg American or something else?
What was that?
Greg, is he American or something else?
I don't know what his actual nationality is, but I don't believe he lives in America.
Okay. Did anybody see the thing that the Ecuadorian embassy was getting hit by anonymous, like a stupid amount?
What even is anonymous anymore?
I
It's a
don't know.
fucking zombie. It's been a zombie for almost 7 years now.
I mean, they are still around. Usually they're working in smaller factions and not like back in the day where it was like, oh, well, okay, anonymous, and you could get everybody in one space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's been a couple
it's
of
more
small
factioned and individual to location types of stuff.
Especially when the leader told on them.
It's faction and fractioned, but I mean, that's part of the problem of having a banner of anonymous is anyone can take that banner up and say, yeah, I'm anonymous, and ooh, so
And also, from my understanding, the Iranians took up their banner as well. The Iranians seem to do a bunch of shit. They're very open about it.
It's not like ISIL or Boko Haram where there's a clear enemy there. Yeah, you may have shadow operatives or whatever you want to call them about that, but it's a clear known banner, clear known enemy. Anonymous, when it's all anonymity based, anyone can take that banner up and be it. So even if they are not directly aligned with that group's principles.
All I know is the original Anonymous was just fucking shit posting, trolling, and activism, and
that's what it was.
I don't even know.
I miss those days when because used to a long time ago, anonymous wasn't political. They were more like green.
They were
Greenpeace. Yeah, they were like Greenpeace. On the internet, and over the last 10 years, they become political, and it's just
and actually,
I don't care.
I think in the multiple fragments, not all of them call themselves anonymous anymore because I think a lot of people involved in anonymous either become the nutbag far left social justice warrior types, like
At Hope, I recall that they're at the anarchist table in the dealers area. One of the pictures they had up included a collage of different anarchists, including Anonymous, going up against the man.
Well,
so
who was the man?
I forget, but the Antifa was also among this crowd. So think of it what you will.
And yeah, that's essentially where I kind of place them now. Is like that Antifa type of mindset. Like you're just going off the rail. You don't have a really structured way of doing something. You may want something that with good intention, but you just have no clue how you're going to do it. And whenever you do it haphazardly. I mean, but because a lot of the anonymous stuff, it's DDoS. It's like, Oh, really?
Well, so here was the thing. Like a couple
Hello,
years
I
ago,
see.
a couple years ago, they did they did this against shoot, what are they called? It's a hosting provider. It's not GoDaddy. It's one of the other ones. DreamHost. And they leveraged the DNS servers to actually take down all of the websites in a DOS attack. So they started sending DNS traffic instead of just using orbital ion cannon, which
Fucking
was
LOIC.
which was super which was cool to me, but also really bad because all of our sites that for work were on DreamHost.
Oh,
Ah,
bum bum bum.
Except for the one client that I moved towards GoDaddy.
Nice.
So I'm like, cool, he's happy.
oh my gosh.
But like all of our internal stuff was all like hosted through like stuff that we needed to have public was all down for about 24 hours.
Oh shit. Chanology really fucked up Anonymous. It's after that is when you had a bunch of the unironic activists coming in and flooding in and just pushing their own agendas and crap. The moral fags, if you will. a lot of moral
Wow, you just went right there.
Well, that's the term they use. Yeah, that's the
yeah.
internal term.
Back in like
Wow.
2010, I gave a talk at the Ohio InfoSec about Anonymous, and I was using in-chan terminology, like those moral fags, old fags, new fags. They use this terminology in place, and I'd say the pools closed due to AIDS, and I bring up all these memes that they use internally. And this is like 2010, back in the day. And something about my talk. While Mr. Crenshaw's talk was well researched, it was wholly inappropriate.
Oh, I was at that talk.
Oh, okay.
I
thought it was a good talk.
Yeah,
he was presenting. Yeah. I mean, yes, it had salty language, but he was presenting on. I don't know how else you really present on it unless you're using asterisks.
That's basically the concept. They call everyone a faggot. Everyone's a faggot in the 4chan world.
Every man, woman, child, anything at all, under any circumstance or concept is a faggot, according to 4chan. Especially themselves.
So what happened? They said your talk was highly inappropriate.
Yeah, it was well researched, but highly inappropriate.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did anything come from that? Did anything come from that complaint?
No, nothing did. I haven't been back to. I've been back to record for them, but I haven't been back to speak. I haven't recorded them the last couple of times because they want too many videos done, and the volunteers I get are like recruited,
like Israel.
Well, by the time I got to the third person, who was one of my volunteers for doing video, and I had to explain what the difference between VGA and HDMI was, I asked, "What are you?" I figured out they were recruiters.
Stop! No, come on, man. Stop.
Like,
are you serious?
I'm in marketing.
They were recruiters when even the dude was pretty.
No,
the man who recruited that was a good-looking man. That's all I'm gonna say.
So I got it. So speaking of like not recruiting, but speaking of videos, B-Sides Charm got back to me.
Cool.
Oh.
So I will be. They gave me the volunteer. So I've been assigned the following shifts from 7:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday and 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Sunday.
Oh, that's not bad.
It depends if he's a morning person.
Well, no, I mean that's better than if you're a vendor and you gotta be there all day.
Charles is a morning person. 100%.
Charles is that they're whenever everybody thought they knew who a morning person was, that mold was broke once they met Charles.
Oh yes.
Well,
I mean, Webster's dictionary put the first picture in their dictionary, and it was of Charles.
Is that because he is the sun? He defines morning wherever he is.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Charles is the sun that rises in the intro to Teletubbies. Yeah, that is Charles.
My goodness. It's just that when I wake up, I'm on. I've been like this since birth.
The sun.
But you know what? Funny story though. And this is
Yeah, he was born.
this is related to, I guess, maybe how I was going to be upon entering the world. So my mother told me this story one time, and she says, she said, "Yeah, I was carrying you. I was pregnant with you." And they went to the doctor, took my mom to the doctor, and the doctor said, "I hear like 2 heartbeats. You're having twins." So of course, my mom was like, "I'm having twins," and they said, "I hear a heartbeat over here." No, I hear a heartbeat over here. And come to find out, I was moving so fast that they kept in the womb that they thought it was like more than one heartbeat, but it was actually just me.
Yeah,
So,
Charles is one of those. As soon as he came out, he looked up at his mom and said, "Hey, I'm happy to see you. I love you."
yeah. Well, of course. She gave me life.
Now,
Hi,
can we
Mom.
go do some morning exercises? Because I'm stoked.
Hi, Mom. Yeah. So, yeah, but definitely. Yeah, I just wake up in the morning, as Cap can tell you, on a house.
Oh, and Charles also said, "Hey, where's Starbucks?"
You know
Where
what's
can I get my sugar crush macchiato?
you know what? Oh man, and it's crazy because no, I've had some people, someone on Twitter asked me, IM me one time. They said, "Hey, is this you before coffee?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they said, "Damn." I said, I was just like, "Yeah, this is before
I
coffee."
can confirm this wholeheartedly. It's not an act. Charles is just like that all the time.
Yeah, it's just I just get up. I just get up excited about life.
Yeah,
And
Cappy knows, from Charles that $20 is $20.
oh my god. Yeah, so if anyone ever meets me, I'm the happy guy with a lot of wireless gear and a cool backpack. And you see me, you might get a Wi-Fi card. Who knows?
And if you open up that backpack, you will see what looks like if a robot unicorn barfed.
Oh my god.
With all of the wires that are in there. The dude has more cables in his bag than freaking anything
what
else.
you are saying is Charles needs to invest in some cable management.
Yeah, in the bag. Yeah,
In the bag.
in the bag. But you know something? I've gotten better. I have gotten better. I've actually bought different things to kind of bundle my my cords and everything.
Good.
And different little pouches and stuff like that. So it's been very helpful, especially with my wireless gear. So I have more TP Link cards as well now too, version 1s. So when I just bought a couple, I'd say like last week. So when I see the version 1 TP Links for sale, I always grab bundles.
So wait. So go into the TP Links version 1 a little bit. So what is their current version?
2.
Okay. So why would somebody want version 1s over the 2?
Well, reason being, if you're doing wireless penetration testing with Kali Linux, Kali just has better support for the version 1s of the wireless TP Links. So that's why they're very popular, and a lot of people scoop them up as soon as possible. I mean, it's a very good radio for like $14. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
And I mean, you really get some good usage out of it.
Like even for general purpose, like I have them set up on my war walking device. So if like I'm doing an evil twin attack, or if I'm doing just having a script that runs to like look and DOS things off the network and grab a handshake.
Evil twin.
Yeah, that's an attack.
Yeah,
it really is. An attack.
Yeah, dude. Like you can fit everything. I'll show this later, but I'm and I don't have it out, but I built a Raspberry Pi with a touchscreen and used that on site for this engagement. Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit, because I mean, I have a couple Pis and I use them here and there, but just on a red teaming side, I have always just kind of felt that they're impractical. So if you have a good purpose for one, like spill
So-
the beans on it.
So essentially, you can use it. And I've thought of using it in a couple ways. So for this engagement, it was more so to show that a rogue device could be planted onto the network. So
Yeah.
I could easily just walk in with this tablet in a small messenger bag, hook up a battery pack to it, and a wireless keyboard or something like that.
Yeah.
And just plug it into a network, plug it in or hack the Wi-Fi, and then show and do like a ping sweep of the entire branch that I can see.
Yeah, just kind of do proof of concept at that point.
Proof of concept, yeah. But what you can also do, which is what I'm going to expand upon, is having this call out back to a CNC server or a command and control server.
Yeah.
So that if it's in bounds, we can show what an internal red team style attack would look like. So you would have your physical guys when hiding in a
You're
corner.
breaking up again.
Stop
Stop talking to us while you go to the
Sorry.
bathroom.
I'm not in the bathroom. I've really like not moved for the last like 20 minutes. But no, you could like throw that thing up in a ceiling. It's so small too. Like it's a 7-inch tablet
Yeah.
screen, and it's touchscreen too. I'm gonna figure out how to get like an on-screen keyboard so that I don't
I have
have
a
to carry.
7-inch. I have a 7-inch.
Hey, Charles, just because you're black, don't go bragging. Come on.
No. Look at you. Look at you. Ha!
Mine's
Now.
bigger.
I said I had the same size as Cap, but anyway.
Oh, but Cap's like 8'5", so I mean, that's kind of expected.
Not that tall.
I don't care. But
Just for you,
Anyway.
shorty.
yes, but the 7-inch touchscreen. I have that too. So you have the one with the back piece where you connect the back piece on the back. Yeah, so I have
Yeah.
that's one.
Yeah, and then I got a black enclosure for it.
Yes,
so that
same here.
So you can set that down,
Yeah.
and it just looks like another like tablet. And so eventually the goal is to have it do capabilities such as war walking, like doing an evil twin attack, doing the call out back to to a command and control server, and then also being a launching point so that you can pivot around the network to then do domain takeovers and stuff like that. Yep, exactly what Charles has up.
Yeah, that's sweet because that actually looks
Yeah.
like a standard tablet.
And
Except for the back.
And as you were talking about that,
I'll plug it up real quick.
you walk into any office space and you're going to find an unoccupied desk. Just go
Yeah.
throw it into a drawer of one of those desks because you mentioned you were can run off a battery.
Yep.
About how long of a
Well,
battery life can you get
there
off
you
of
go.
that?
I haven't done stress tests on it yet, but it was kind of a last minute purchase. I was like, oh, this would be dope. So I went and bought all the stuff for it, hooked up, and brought, like, you could run all of like your Hack 5 gear off of it.
Off of it, yeah.
I would highly suggest getting like a USB expansion for it though, and then like velcroing or taping it to the side of it on the back, because some of your devices will not fit the way that USBs on the Raspberry Pi are set up right now, where they're stacked 2x2 or in a 2-port stack side by side.
Yeah.
So the more crap that I wanted to plug into it, the more I was like, we kind of need to have more things. But then I'm also working on.
And is this still USB 2 or is it 3?
USB
3.
3. Yeah,
Okay.
if it's the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, I think it's 3.
Okay.
Yes, B plus.
Yeah.
Hey Charles, can you show a side view of that just so we can see the
you wanna see
USB slots and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're not throwing it inside of the tablet. It's like mounted. Okay. I
Yeah,
got
so
you now.
I'll take the back piece off for a second. So as you can see there,
Yeah.
that's what the
Yeah,
back piece.
I was thinking you were actually like implementing it into the actual tablet, and the entire structure was then Raspberry Pi on the inside, blah blah blah. Okay.
Well,
I got you.
here's the other thing too. Here's the other thing too. If you have access to a 3D printer, it's a pretty easy. I would think it would be a pretty easy thing to then make a low profile kind of Raspberry Pi Zero version of it
Yeah.
to go on the back of it as well. However, I need to look into that because I don't think the Raspberry Pi Zero has a display GP or display ribbon connector on it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
I mean, because since you brought up 3D printing, I mean that would be really cool to, especially from a Zero perspective. Take the back off of that, be able to mount the Pi inside that LCD, and then throw the battery inside that same compartment, and then make a custom printed backplate for it, like
Right.
and just make because then literally it would look like a standard tablet, and that'd be cool.
My other thing too that I'm gonna be researching how to do, and the 3D printing has to come into this as well, much more so as well, is creating and developing long range RFID antennas.
Yeah.
And then having that inside the back of the tablet, behind
wrap 'em.
back of the behind the LCD wrapped around, and then have the Raspberry Pi right underneath there, and then also have the Proxmark 3 also there as well. And the newer Proxmark 3s are also battery powered, and I also saw someone make a Bluetooth version of it as well.
Why?
Because then there's no wires involved then. Because then you can just.
We're security guys. Come on,
dude,
I have to.
I know. Like the protocol is for a security standing. Yeah, no, it's a POS, but the functionality side of it, and you're only turning that thing on for like a second just to like walk by someone's badge with this little thing that's literally about turn my camera. It's literally about the size of my palm.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is not a large thing compared to what you see now, or what you saw with like the RDV version 2, where it's that longer piece, and then you have the antennas sticking out on top of that. It's a real hard thing to covertly put that by anyone to get that. And also, if you put it in a form factor that's like a tablet, you can easily just swing a tablet around that just picks up RFIDs.
Yeah.
So
now, Cappy, you are, getting paid for red teaming. Will your company reimburse you for, items such as this?
Through a process and through approval, yes.
I mean, just because the way I'm thinking right now is how much would they, would they replace $100 item if it was confiscated and never returned? At what dollar amount do you feel we would be safe making, kind of your black box, this for dropping without having a worry that, it's going to be gone and crap, now it's going to come out of my pocket?
So barring the RFID, if you just want to make a drop box for it, that depending on your scope, if you just want to do a network drop box for it and have the display screen there to say, hey, and just so that you can monitor it, you could set up an automated script to run all that stuff. So the logistics of the technical logistics aside from it, all you would really need is a RJ45 cord, access to a port within the network that has network access, and
Uh-huh.
then the display and the Raspberry Pi itself. So the display and the enclosure together were about $70
Okay.
for the one that Charles and I have. Then the Raspberry Pi,
See, that's where that $20 is $20 is coming in.
that Raspberry Pi, is about
It's like $29. Yeah.
15 to $30. Well, depending on what pack you get.
Yeah.
But about $15. I would recommend getting a bigger hard SD card because
But you're
especially
getting cheaper by the day.
yeah, which if you're like my coworker graciously gave me a 128 gig SD card to put into it for this engagement. So that actually works in your favor because if you're just throwing a ton of stuff out, you're going to like scan files are going to be huge. And especially if you're going to try and create payloads, those payloads are going to get big and any other information on top of that. But it would just, you don't really need, I would say a 32 to 64 gig SD card.
It should be just fine. Should be sufficient.
Yeah, that should be sufficient both for Kali, or in our case, we use a build of Debian that we make in house.
Yeah.
Or SecBSD.
It's really just base Debian, and then we have all of our tools that we use on every engagement installed onto it.
Yeah. So total dollars and cents, though, you're thinking probably right around the 100 range.
Right around 100 to 150. So
yeah, and see, that's not that bad.
Right.
You know,
if you
because a lot of the guys I know, use Nooks, and I tell you what, a couple of them, the company confiscated them where they dropped them, and they never got them back, and their company didn't necessarily reimburse them and give them money for new ones. And Nooks,
Nooks are expensive.
You're talking, minimum $500.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Get everything. I mean, it's a good platform though. It's small, fairly compact, but
right.
But for $150, this is a fairly decent solution.
Here's something that I've been working like far as like with Dropbox. I'm actually doing this with a Nintendo. I'm trying to do this with a Nintendo Switch Joy-Con.
A Joy-Con, because it's Charles and he loves the Joy.
But this is what I've done so far. So I've modified my my Nintendo Switch. Now, mind you, everyone, and of course, I'm not normal. This is my main Nintendo Switch that I play on. So I've modded the back piece already.
Okay, R2D2.
So I've taken it apart. This is just the main screen, but I took off the back piece. I just wanted like the clear output. And, this I learned a lot by doing this. Again, by taking it apart and learning how the different internal functions occur when it comes to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And also now the Joy-Cons are very difficult to mod. So I've taken this apart. This is what it looks like right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this is what the board looks like internally. This is the layer.
Yeah.
This is where the R button, like the top L button, that's what it looks like on the inside.
Nice.
And when you take that apart, and yeah. So I'm learning a lot. But what I want to do, I'm taking this board out and I'm putting in a Raspberry Pi Zero.
Huh.
Into the Joy-Con. As the part of the Joy-Con. And the two USB devices, I'm getting like some little dongles and whatnot for the buttons. So this is where the where you see the buttons at now, where like Wi-Fi antennas probably come like probably 2 DVI antennas. Use. And nobody never really know the difference or whatnot. So once I finish, and I'll show you, for each hole there, we'll have a Wi-Fi antenna. So you're looking at 4 antennas coming through here.
Huh.
So why?
Just because.
Like-
Just because.
The way I guess my why is: are you still planning to use it as a Nintendo Switch, or are you planning
No.
to use it? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Not yeah.
I'm like,
I was
I
gonna
mean,
say,
what-
not
now,
just-
mind you, not this particular Joy-Con. Now,
yeah.
for
I mean,
future
once you
Joy-Con-
said that you were going to, have the Wi-Fi antennas come out, like that's where I thought you were going. But I was, I don't know,
I
maybe.
possibly could. I possibly could. I mean, it's just a logic board.
Yeah.
And with firmware, but I will tell you this: whoever's into Switch modding, it is a very expensive lesson to learn. Case in point, I've broken 2 cons already.
Oh,
Done. No, I'm sorry. This is the 3rd Joy-Con I've broken.
okay. So
Trying to learn this.
for those of us also who don't game, in case
This
there
is
is
hard.
anybody watching,
See?
the Joy-Con, that's the
It's a
handheld-
wireless
the-
joystick controller.
yeah, the
Yeah,
joystick
that's the controller.
controller. And what you want to do is you can still use your Switch with a regular Joy-Con, but you could also have the secondary Joy-Con
Right.
on for, red teaming types of stuff.
Right.
Okay.
But I just wanted to point this out for anybody that's thinking about like hacking their Switch or whatnot. It is an expensive lesson to learn. So mind you, this is the other Joy-Con. I just broke this last night. I stripped the wire. And I had to order. You have to order a case. You have to order a tool set that's designed for repairing Nintendo Switches. You can't use the iFixit kit. That's the lesson I learned. You can't use the iFixit kit because they have like different special screws, and if you strip it, it's done. Like it's no room for error when you're doing this. And I'm just showing you this to make an example of myself. Yeah.
Bum,
So-
bum.
But
What happened to the soundboard,
Got
Cappy?
some new
Come on.
ones. But I got another one today.
Mm.
So I
Nice.
got another one to learn on.
That was $38
Yes.
minus a penny.
Yeah. So, and this is just one. This is just one con. This is just one. This is the actual right Joy-Con. Because you can buy the left or the right separately. You don't have to buy them together.
Ooh.
But yeah, I just spend a lot of time with that, and nobody's paying me to do this. I just do this again because I love tech. A couple of my friends are like, "Holy crap, you're freaking crazy!" This is my main Switch. So right now it's not playable because I have one Joy-Con. Kind of hard to do with one like this. Okay, but in all, I said, hey, I love it. Now, speaking of my cable management, I just brought out the bin.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you, Miss Berlin. I got this from
Man.
at DerbyCon. Yes, yeah. This is an awesome gift.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Dude, nice.
Oh,
got
come
something.
on. Wait.
I've got something similar. Hang on.
Yeah, I've grown up. So when I'm on an engagement, this is where I got my yardstick in here. I got my Bluetooth. I got my SD radio. So yeah, it's SDR radio. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. And then all I gotta do is just click, connect it back, boom, and there we go, wireless.
Undoing mine real quick.
Since Cappy acts like he's never seen any of this stuff before, and my lighting is not the best right now. Let me see.
Well, it's always something new that you can see.
Yeah. Charles is a little more compact, just to show that there are options.
Yeah.
If you are looking for cable management and just trying to find places for all your crap,
Yes.
I mean, like we have this, and then we also have with this one a secondary. So this has a slot that opens up top that can actually take stuff down into a pouch. a mesh bag here, and then you can take larger items down here. Like I have an external drive that I throw in here. Power. Actually, I have a extra HD cam here. So, I mean, there's a lot of options out there if you are looking for cable management and just like getting yourself organized. Because I'm sure Charles would say the exact same thing. Well, I mean, Cappy attested to it. You will end up with just a stupid amount of cables. Just a dumb amount of cables. And you need to have some way to organize those. But there are multiple options out there. Just got to get that cable management, or else you are going to, just hurt yourself in the process.
Now,
so actually, here's my go bag, or my physical go bag.
Look at
See, he took all the razors and shavers out.
No, actually, no. So we've got, I can't even see my own screen here. Okay, so we got the picks. The 2 terabyte hard drive with some nice fun stuff.
Nice.
And we've got all of these. These are actually a lifesaver. So this one, we actually found a pack of these from Home Depot. These are actually great because you can, Deviant's talked about them a lot in his recent talks. You can slip this in between the door and the plunger. And just pop it out like that. And we also got a couple other like versions here. So there's this angled one, there's just a straight one. So if you want to use that as,
is that his what do you call it, like the textile hook or whatever he calls it?
Can
you send me a link to that, because I need to get one?
They're at Home Depot. So I'll send links to it. But these things are freaking awesome. Use them on the engagement. That was fun. Trench knife. There should be weed whacker cord in here, but that is on the other side of the room. Roll of paracord for when you need to make badges or anything like that, or makeshift lanyards. Then I've got bootable Debian that I can do stuff with. Data storage, rubber ducky, and then some universal keys that I've picked up.
Nice.
So like, I actually got these when I bought my server rack. These are universal server keys, server rack cabinet keys. And then these are universal cabinet keys. So like those little file cabinets that are underneath the desk, you can use those there too. We're still finishing out some of the things. And then I've got the rest of my Hack 5 kit, which I have to somehow get all of this stuff into here, which is proving to be a challenge. So I kind of keep everything over in one bag, and especially when you do like a 2-man engagement, having a couple of these bags, so if one of you gets popped, the other one still has like wireless, or one of them still has like a rubber ducky, or one of them has a land turtle or the pineapple.
Definitely not a bad thing. Also, Charles Credo deleted it, but was asking what brand is your wire management bag, or just accessory bag?
It was it's called BUBM.
Oh yeah, that's what mine is too. Just BUBM. A bigger one. Okay.
Yeah. But
did you get it off Amazon? I got mine off Amazon. Did you get yours off Amazon?
This was a gift from Amanda.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome gift. But it was great.
Credo, check out. What's this say? Be unique, be myself. I'll try to throw it up here. So if you can see it here, I got mine off Amazon, and most likely Charles's probably came from Amazon also.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Originally, so that is pretty cool though. We both have the same brand.
Yeah.
But their bags are really, really good. And I had mine for probably 3-4 years now, and it
Right.
still looks brand freaking new. It's been in the bottom of book bags and stuff, and so it's
Right.
hitting the ground constantly. So they're, I mean, I'm not going to say they're indestructible, but they do wear well. So yeah.
So here's another thing too, project wise. Just want to point this out. So a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
I'm looking at trying to actually see if I can create my own Alexa.
Oh, okay. We're talking about something different. Alexa. Yes.
Yeah. I found, and I just want to point this out real quick.
Anyone listening to this on speaker just had their Alexa go off for like the fourth time.
Alexa.
No, but I just wanted to point this product out. This is the Google, like the voice kit. I found this actually a couple of weeks ago for $4.99 at Micro Center. And it's just a small, like, it allows you to do like just different projects for like dealing with artificial intelligence with your voice and everything else.
Did you reverse it yet?
Currently trying to figure out. I'm not great with how Alexa functions just yet, like voice wise. So it's taking me some time because I'm just researching and learning how all this stuff fits together. But
yeah, so you've been working with this some though, this voice kit.
A little bit.
So has it been functioning similarly to Alexa and other voice?
It's a difference.
Oh, okay.
Difference. So and like I said, I'm doing research and I've been hitting Reddit pretty hard. IRC for that matter as well too. Just like in random chats or whatnot. With a couple of buddies of mine that's like really deep into the whole artificial intelligence and AI technology, and they were giving me some good pointers and stuff to check out when it comes to this. And I'll gladly post some of the findings that I have as well, like far as like what to look at if anyone is interested.
Yeah,
in learning about.
I mean, voice stuff's very cool.
Yeah,
and actually, because whenever you talk voice, you're talking dialects and then languages and everything else, and that's always been an issue for everyone. So just being able to get past those, if you can do it and give us some intelligible information about it, more power.
This is why we're here.
The challenge Amazon is actively working on, as evidenced by the news report where they have thousands of engineers listen to voice recordings.
Yes. And granted, these are not supposed to be like we are spying on you type of things. They are specifically saying something to Alexa. Shut up, Alexa, because I know you're going to respond to me.
It's just an improved version of
somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's obviously a lot of stuff was accidental or unintentionally turned on because the article mentioned they heard stuff such as of abuse, screaming, and I unless someone's wife is named Alexa, I'm not quite certain that they would intentionally pick up that noise.
Yes, but you also have to remember dialects, and that's where Amazon has that really, really gray area because
I don't know. I just feel a little bit. I'll say you finish first.
Well, I was just going to say, they have you can hit Alexa with 3 different phrases, Alexa and 2 others. I don't remember what the 2 others are right now, but if you are to say one of those and they haven't refined your voice to, you have 3, 4, or 5 people in the household, it's obviously not all going to be the same. And so if you hit one of those 3 phrases within an appropriate mean, it's going to start recording. But shit, where was I going with that? I don't know. You go ahead. I forget where I was going with that.
Yeah, I don't like the concept that I don't like it when tech firms constantly try to reuse it. Users use the data users submit as cheap R&D. I mean, cheap R&D material. I mean, obviously, a lot of people submit data to tech firms and with the understanding or the expectation that human beings will not be ever interact with this data directly, absent extraordinary circumstances such as a court order.
Well, I mean, for me too, though, that just kind of reinforces my AI. Um, I worked in stuff in the past that dealt in the progress of artificial intelligence, and I even at this point, I will not say that we have artificial intelligence.
God, no.
And them doing that for me just reinforces the point that Amazon, as big as they are, as much money as they have, can't also do artificial intelligence. They are relying on algorithms, and they found out that they still need to have that human aspect to be able to accurately, say this was this and that was that. Like
So,
the
I would
algorithms aren't getting them to the place they expected, and so they have
well,
to
he-
inject
here's
that human aspect.
here's an example, and I have to get this fact checked, but a few years ago when I was in my development job, we were looking at a bunch of articles on AI because we were just interested in it. And at that point, Google had made an AI that started writing its own programming language
Yeah.
and having it kind of rewriting itself in that own programming language, and it was actually developing itself, and Google freaked out and turned it off.
Yeah, but in the same sense, they and two that they did not publicly disclose the actual technicals of it.
Right. Yeah.
And as far as we know, it could have been demoting itself down to nothing because it could not build itself up. I mean, it was rewriting, yes, but what it was writing, Google has not released. And that's where I'm really curious because once we actually hit that threshold of it developing and bettering itself, yeah, at that point, yeah, we actually get AI. But a company who was able to do that normally would release those results. A company that, oh shit, like now it's like downplaying and we can't get it to do anything better, I would think would, try to minimize and hide those results. Because as of yet, we've not seen any algorithm be able to further itself.
So, yeah.
Including any type of AI.
Yeah, we're very
or at
far
least
away
people
from the
claim
singularity.
AI.
We're
Yes.
very far away from the singularity. Yes.
And that is an annoying part on my side. We see security companies, we have tech firms, we have tech companies, whoever you want to name, saying AI in all their marketing shit. And
With
AI
marketers,
pen test, machine learning pen test. That's the one thing that
Ma-
I still
machine
think
learning,
With
yes.
the blockchain.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, blockchain is valid, machine learning is valid, yes, because those are based on algorithms that individuals made,
by that same
and
definition, so is AI.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
but AI, something that somebody made that now continues and betters itself. We have never seen that yet.
Well, no, we're not because there's no way to program that. All the ways we program it now is basically a bunch of nested if statements.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So we don't
Yeah.
have any way to have any kind of heuristic knowledge. It's just not possible.
Yeah, I mean, even when we're talking about genetic algorithms and whatnot, we're still talking about pre-programmed information that is now going through a vast amount of variables. It's switching up the variables and coming with a result. We are not talking about something that is future looking, that is, essentially just building something upon itself. It's only working with what it knows. It's not working with something that it is creating. And if we, like the Google side, Okay, so it wrote its own language, and it is something lower level. That could be considered AI, but nobody's going to use it because it's inferior to what is currently being used. Like, whenever we're talking AI, it has to be something that is based off of something written by a human, and then it betters itself past what the human did. And we have not seen that in any case globally yet that has been publicly acknowledged. And I leave that buffer because who knows? Maybe somebody did it, but hasn't acknowledged it yet. But yeah, we haven't seen it.
Right. And almost every mention of AI is pretty much marketers masturbating on each other and jerking off on the public because they just say, hey, give us money, AI, give us money. Same thing as blockchain.
Machine learning. I'm gonna rub my nipples right now. Oh,
Okay,
yes.
so the little Bobby comic saw this really well, talking about blockchain. I'll transcribe it here. Blockchain feels like the shake weight of the security industry. How do you figure? We've had better, more efficient answers for what it's trying to solve before, and maybe some benefit anyway, but most just look stupid using it.
Yep. I still can't believe Ponzi coin was successful several times.
Yes.
Fucking Ponzi coin.
Ooh, Adrian's got some laser lights.
All right, so I'm pretty sure we've finished Assange and deviated far enough here.
No, this was all 100% relevant to Assange.
That was a good side conversation. All right, Clownwood meme. I haven't had a weird group in a week in a while. If anybody has any writing suggestions, tweet me or something because I'd like to have some new ones.
I forget. Did you ever do QAnon? The QAnon thing?
Actually, that would be a good one.
Oh, that would be an excellent one.
All right, pencil that in for next week, and I need to do some research on that. All that I know is there's a bunch of conspiracy theories about various people in the deep state and Democrats being kitty diddlers. But other than that, I don't know.
No.
It's the weirdest thing is the demographics. It's like think anonymous, but boomers.
Yeah, but QAnon, a lot of the people who follow QAnon think that it is actually Trump, like putting out those. They're mainly Reddits, right?
I don't know. All I know is just
I think it's I think it's Reddit, but they think it's Trump, or at very minimum, they think it is somebody who's like firsthand next to Trump. Like
they do believe it is secret knowledge, secret access given this information. That's pretty much believe Q. That kind of crap.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm definitely interested. Like, throw some research in there. I'm definitely interested to hear about that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to do some more research in that one. Now I just forgot the name of one of the things we'll cover. I've seen this meme going around about Clown World.
Oh, yes.
What is it? What is the avatar? It's a clown version of Pepe, which is called Honkers or something. What's he called?
I don't know. I didn't know they had a different name for it.
Oh, yeah, they have. I
thought Honkers was like a something on the female body.
Honk. He's called Honk.
Oh, okay.
They have an interview out here on Know Your Meme. You know, a lot of shit. Know Your Meme is far more accurate than things like, let's say, Media Matters or BuzzFeed or anything like that. A lot of people start throwing this out there as a white supremacist symbol, and there probably is some people using it as such. But the main meme I see is a bunch of people who are what is the term for people who think the world's basically coming to shit, and but these are people that want to laugh about it. It's kind of a nihilistic meme about the world being a weird fucking place right now politically. For instance, to give you an example, here Richard Spencer praised Bernie Sanders for some stance that he made. That would be an example.
Okay.
There is a lot of weirdness going on the political side.
Or people making an outlandish statement like "time belongs to white people," and this is coming from a black gender study.
Time?
Yeah, that was
the concept of time.
I saw that one.
According to a black gender studies professor,
time
is somehow a whiteness concept, and she's perpetuating the stereotype that black people are always late.
Oh, really? They have never met a Filipino then.
This gender
that might also that beats out the woke Cat in the Hat review I saw.
Oh,
It's pretty bad. It's talking about how the Cat in the Hat can reinforce or combat white supremacy.
Huh. That might fall into the whole clown world thing.
Yes.
so explain out the clown world, what you were able to find on it.
Well, basically, I'm trying to figure out what the term is. It's not accelerationist. It's basically people who, how do they put it this way? They think the world's burning and they want to laugh at it. So basically, I guess they're kind of influenced by the Joker. But the term is not accelerationist. What is the term for people who think the world's going to shit? And oh crap. Yeah, I didn't research this one.
So it's not. So
I've
it's
heard-
not nihilist. You're not looking for nihilist.
Nihilist is correct. What? There's a different term besides nihilist.
I've heard doomer, not boomer, doomer.
No.
Yeah,
I said doomer.
yeah, I know.
That sounds like
Just
tumor now.
Doomer.
All I know is I've not been using social media too much lately for my own health, but from
So-
what little I have seen, doesn't not specifically in the Joker-esque context. It's just more so. What I've seen is people
So-
saying
So
this shit is too fucking unbelievable to be real.
People have done memes with the clown though, with things like gas chambers and so forth. So it's
Yeah,
just-
Oh
but-
yeah, that's
but-
the standard
but-
poll stuff.
but the world is going to shit in what context? You know, are they taking it from a political context or an environmental context? Like, what is the context that they're working in?
Almost certainly political. What else could it be?
Well, basically, things are getting weirder and weirder, and people are bleeding weirder and weirder shit. Is the general context.
I mean, in that case, then yeah, I'm on that same boat. Then, I mean, because yes, we keep having individuals and people who keep getting weirder and weirder. Like, I think it needs to boil down a little further into if it is people who are more against a political system or people
Right.
who are more against a naturalist system, you know.
Yeah. Here's how meme mentions it. Additionally, the character is associated with the term honk pill, which is often described as an absurdist alternative to black pill nihilism, allowing a person to appreciate the humor in an absurd universe, interpreting existence as a cosmic joke. Now, and I've seen the meme pop up a whole lot. Then there's this one lady who goes by the handle, oh crap, little lunchbox, who talks about reclaiming Pepe as her own and shit. Have you seen that video?
No.
Oh, crap. Let me see. 1 second. This is cute.
I love cute.
I posted a link to the woke, a short excerpt of the woke review of the Cat in the Hat in the Google Hangouts chat.
Nice.
Or screw it. Let me see if I can. Let's see. I'll just read it right here. It's short.
Audio.
Disgusted, and I
Was the Go ahead.
Holy shit.
I don't want to give them that much attention. We'll see where it goes. You know, I'll keep the video on ice, and we'll just see how far they want to take this. But I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to go to motherfucking war. You're not going to take a symbol of happiness and acceptance and multiculturalism and turn it into something racist and anti-Semitic and homophobic and transphobic. You're not going to do that on my watch. You're not. So Pepe, he belongs to me now. Pepe, with his curly ass afro clown face, that is a symbol of the resistance now. I encourage you all to share. I'm going to Photoshop a picture of Pepe with just tons of pro LGBTQ symbols and pro Black symbols, and we are taking Pepe back. He's mine. I'm adopting him. I'm saving him from these freaks, these degenerates who think that it's okay to take a symbol of happiness and
I gotta say, some people have been using the meme for
it's
racist
disgusting.
purposes.
It's literally, it's sickening. It's
She
sick.
seems like a troll.
Take
I
such
hope
a
so.
positive thing like
But she's dedicated. Look at that hair.
and try to make it into a symbol.
What woke person says degenerates?
The clown emoji belongs to us, the Lunchables. Pepe the Frog, the clown version, and just him in general, honestly, because he's been through a lot. He belongs to us, the Lunchables. You really thought.
Did she say Lunchables?
Yeah, that's
butt sniffing,
weird.
fart sniffing, living with your mother.
Fart sniffing.
I don't care, you fucking assholes. I adopted Pepe and he's mine. They want to, we're going to put the symbol out there. You put him out there. Well, guess what? I grabbed his ass and now he's mine.
It sounds like she's going to put him on a leash.
Not take this from me. I will not. Clowns are a symbol of happiness and acceptance. And like I said,
Stephen King has something to say about that.
Whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Latino, whether you're Asian, whether you're Pacific Islander, whatever the hell you are, you're a human being. We love you. We embrace you. If you see a clown, I don't want clowns to be associated with negativity. This is the thing that I'm trying to avoid. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the it shit. I'm tired of clowns hiding under beds with razor sharp teeth. I'm tired of
there it is.
Okay.
Finally.
She's not alt-right or woke.
The elephant in the room.
Cold, hard, look in the mirror, bitches. Take a cold, hard look.
This was live? Holy cow.
This, a black, bisexual, mentally ill clown. I stand with humanity, clumanity.
Okay.
Clumanity.
I stand with your grandma. I stand with your mailman.
My grandma's dead.
With people who are just trying to live life day to day. 4chan has had Pepe for 7 years. Well, guess what? It's over, glitches. He's coming now.
I have no idea.
Wow.
Beth, she's also a juggalo.
Mine. Don't forget, I'm also a half vegan. Got that as well.
Half vegan.
Wait, half vegan?
What? Half vegan? How does that work?
She only eats meat Monday through Wednesday.
I mean, you really thought you were going to come for me, the clown queen. You really thought that you were going to take
Oh my god.
Shit.
represents everything that is closeted in my
She
life.
should be the next Joker.
Thought
Oh my gosh. Joaquin Phoenix just found his Harley Quinn.
clowns, you really thought that you could take a symbol of positivity and turn it in to a racist symbol? Well, you can't, because he's mine now, bitches.
I feel,
Damn, she went from like a 2 to a 10. Woo!
dude, he was
And
zero
then
to
drink a
100.
Red Bull.
Red Bull just kicked in.
We're going to war.
Yeah, that was something else.
Yeah, you gotta watch
She's
out for
still
those
going.
clown wars.
Yeah, I think she's in a category all of her own.
Damn.
One of these days, you're going to have to wake up and realize that the world's changing. And I know that scares you, that the future looks like this. But guess
Oh,
what,
hell.
Snowflake? Pull up your panties and deal with it, because I'm not going anywhere, Klitches.
Oh, screw that. I'm still
Isn't
not
that
wearing a mask
derogatory?
here.
What am I hearing?
Block from your house, wherever the fuck, I'll show up and I'll bring it back down. I'll bring that equilibrium.
What? Entice this.
Bring us back to be as human beings.
I think
Holy
she just
crap.
It's
was
racist.
set off from Clown Pepe.
2019. I don't know what year it is. It's absurd. Your grandparents in the 50s who were racist, fuck them too. Fuck the
Wait,
old
you were with my grandparents. What?
trash, and you need to get over
Is she a white girl?
crying on the internet.
She's
with
mixed.
Because guess what? He's
Oh,
mine
okay.
now. He's my clomie. He's on my shoulder right here. He's mine. I'm about to go Photoshop those pictures of Pepe right now. I've
Please.
recorded him, spread the word, shared this video.
Oh, I will.
That Pepe the Frog comes to Lil Lunchbox now, and he
Oh, I love little lunchboxes.
acceptance and happiness and
I
everything
love happiness too.
wonderful and black in this world.
Wait,
That-
what's black?
Wait, what?
I'm gonna go eat some motherfucking quesadillas now. Have a blessed day. Don't
Oh, wait. Damn it. She's Mexican.
get you down. That's what Jacqueline Emmanuel. You need that facelift. No, I'm just kidding. Trying to spur this glitch keeps trying me.
Click.
Have a blessed day, y'all. Bye. Fuck all y'all haters and claters.
Oh, crap. They're the Claters.
Click them all.
Yeah, cluck them all.
Bye.
No, she just put CL in front of everything, so it's clownish.
Not the one thing that makes you question her sincerity is that she did not dye her hair.
Yeah, but look at the haircut itself, though.
Holy
Yes,
crap.
that's true.
Really?
But that's true. So that really it puts me on the fence here. But what clown does not have, funky colored hair?
Oh my gosh! Like, no, I totally agree. Oh my gosh, that was
walk into
just,
Starbucks the next day.
what in the hell? Like, if I ever see a barista like that, screw it. I'm going somewhere else.
Wait, did you ever call a snake in a little schoolgirl's outfit?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes.
I actually have a separate picture of a snake in a Sailor Moon outfit.
Nice.
Yeah, I looked at that earlier and I was like,
I'm trying to understand what clown would mean because it seems to be used in multiple ways. One of the context seems to be like humorous nihilism, but
No,
so like, give me a little more context around this though. Is it at least what you found anything past her, or is this actually something? I'm like,
well, I've seen
holy crap
talk about it, but it's things like Paul Joseph Watson.
Have you heard about the
But I want to say this on.
So
I put one of his videos on. People started whining about alt-right.
nihilism has always been a facet of Chan, so the nihilism is not really unique to use
Is it
something kind of clown
nihilism or
meme.
nihilism? Because I'm confused.
It's tomato.
Okay. Because I
say nihilism.
and my first introduction to nihilism was The Big Lebowski with the nihilists. So
Nihilism, nihilism, and we know what I mean.
okay, cool. Just making sure. Just wanted to be on the right page because I didn't know if there was some weird.
I thought Adrian knew a more appropriate or authoritative enunciation.
So remember when 4chan trolled the media into believing that the OK hand sign was secret code for white supremacy? Well, they've done it again. Now sporting an LGBT flag-coloured afro and a red nose, Pepe the Frog is back in the form of Honkler. Bear with me. Operation Honk is another 4chan troll to turn Honkler into the next OK hand sign. According to one post, it's all about taking back the rainbow. In other words, 4chan is attempting to troll the media into freaking out about clowns being a dog whistle for bigotry and racism.
Who's that?
But surely the media wouldn't fall for the same trick a second time, would they? Yes. Once again, the fringe right and the fringe left serve each other's interests by creating a circular feedback loop, by contriving a phony moral panic over something that's completely absurd and meaningless. So groups like Right Wing Watch actually do the bidding of the far right by manifesting the reality the far right desires. Now the OK hand sign is racist, now frogs are racist, and clowns are racist. It's not just edgy banter, Nazis are everywhere, and the only way to stop them is by donating to Right Wing Watch.
There's money to be made. This is a nonprofit that makes money through donations. So of course, the only way the nonprofit can survive is by convincing you there is something going on, a threat that you need to know about. Have you seen a clown in a globe on Twitter? Perhaps you didn't realize it was actually a white nationalist. You should donate.
And as ever with these contrived moral panics, some on the left are taking it deadly seriously.
You really thought that you could take a symbol apart?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
To a racist symbol? Well, you can't, because he's mine now, bitches! Pepe's mine!
Oh my god, there's another one.
Hell, the clowns shall walk the earth. And by the way, using the term friend to mean friend is also now officially racist.
Hey, friend. That's right. A little old friend seeks to make friend world friendly again.
Although at its core a joke, the Honkler meme does speak to the wider nihilistic societal malaise shared not just by actual racists that we do live in clown world. Drag queens, some of whom later turn out to be pedos, reading stories to kids. Gender fluid sex workers licking airplane toilet seats. Leftists celebrating the gender transitioning of their 4-year-old kids. Virtue signaling progressives applauding themselves for stopping the deportation of a convicted rapist. Squat toilets being introduced to fulfill diversity goals. Massive corporations and left-wing media outlets hyperventilating over toxic masculinity and manspreading while telling men to put things up their butts. When the clown world is manifesting itself in reality to such a degree that it might as well be a parody, recognizing that we live in a clown world doesn't automatically make you a racist.
The idea that this particular meme has anything to do with white supremacy, but more often it's being used to display nihilism, to display like generally the idea of a clown world, the idea of we might as well fucking laugh and just do off the wall shit. Who cares? Because the world is basically ending. It's almost a doomsday mentality.
It might just mean that you've put the sunglasses on. It might just be part of your revolt against the modern world. I used to think the future of Western civilization was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a comedy. Or as one post described it, taking the honk pill is a declaration of freedom and an act of philosophical transcendence. It is the simultaneous acknowledgement of the black pill with the decision to avoid its attendant nihilism by consciously choosing to seek joy, to seek adventure, to seek light-hearted and self-amused mastery in the midst of all the chaos. The honk pill is a philosophy unto itself, and perhaps in these trying times, it's just the medicine this broken world needs. And as we know, the left gets nervous about any viral meme, no matter how ludicrous, because studies show that the right is far better at spreading viral memes. And that's because the left has lost its sense of humor, and permanently walking on eggshells, terrified of offending somebody somewhere. Their ruthless thought policing of the boundaries of acceptable opinion intensifies day by day, which is why the left can't meme. The right has been forced to rely more on memes because the left has been successful in banning words and censoring the discussion of certain ideas.
The right wing has been more active in doing things like that, specifically because its ideology is considered more subversive, more outside of the establishment, the mainstream. And so what you're seeing is a sort of mimetic Creole that's actually begun springing up, where images are used as stand-ins for words because those words are taboo.
Are racists using Pepe clown memes? Yes. Does that mean all clown memes are racist? Only to the extent
of course
Syrians are Nazis, because Hitler was a vegetarian. So if you're on the fringe right and you want the media to freak out about clowns being racist for a laugh, you win. And if you're on the fringe left and you want to create panic and raise money by convincing everyone that clowns are racist, then you win too. And this entire spectacle only serves to illustrate to everyone else that we truly do live in clown world.
Wow.
Can I just laugh?
Look. The clown attacked them. The clown initially there was looking very accepting, and he looked like he wanted a hug. Who did that? That's just wrong.
Big red button to subscribe really helps you hit the bell to allow notifications.
Anyway,
it's a little disingenuous. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious the far left will call anything with Pepe racist. That has clown dressings on it doesn't mean they see clowns racist. It's fucking Pepe. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the
I disagree with him.
Frame of trying to make things more lighthearted and whatnot. But
Oh yes.
yeah, I mean, because you have to, there from a mentality perspective, like there are things that you care about that Adrian does not care about, or Caprico does not care about, Liz. And
and vice
and
versa.
and I'm not targeting you, but
I know.
so there's things that you have to be able to, just kind of blow off type of thing. And if you cannot blow the things off, then, aka Caprico, those are things that you should seek psychiatric help about. If there are things that you just cannot get past that are just continuously bogging you down, that you can't get past and you need to move on, because at some point, I don't care what it is, you need to move on. You need to seek therapy. Sorry, but that's essentially that's my perspective. That's how it is. If the world is moving one way and you are not, then you have to figure out some way to also move with it.
Therapy only goes so far if you're somebody who follows politics. I mean, I think that's learning to laugh at no matter what the world throws at you and stop taking life so seriously. That's
not a bad
probably what it is.
concept.
No, but
Yeah,
you can't really cope with the random shit.
Yeah.
There's no real normal.
Yeah, like laughing at something, okay, cool. But whenever because I can very easily, and I guarantee this will be happening, whenever you start seeing that mix with Antifa and everything else, like at that point, it's definitely gone too far. Like you're not laughing anymore. You're trying to, be a savior to whatever your cause is.
Sure. And, I do agree with the video that framing it as a clown, it will obviously make the people reporting on it as a white nationalist symbol look ridiculous.
Yeah, but in the same, like the video with the woman, I feel like she's to the point she needs some help.
She said she called herself mentally ill, so she already acknowledges that.
Yeah, I have to imagine she's a freaking troll, though.
She could be a troll because she did.
I mean, maybe.
SJWs don't use the word degenerate. She did, but at the same time,
is that kind of like non-SJWs never use the term reverse racism?
Fair.
Well,
I mean,
granted, I will say in a workplace in the past, I did say that. And I'm not an SJW.
Fucking degenerates.
It was an organization who wanted to only hire somebody who was not white. And I mean, I have issue with that. Because I come from a perspective, a stance that I don't care what color, breed, nationality. I don't care. Like, if you can do the job, you can do the job, and that's who I want to hire. But they wanted to hire somebody who was not white, and I'm sorry, I have issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, man. Did you use the term degenerates?
I did. No, no, I'm not going to use the term.
He used the term reverse racism. That's what he said.
I did use the term reverse racism because I said, and I told, the management in place, like, this is reverse racism because, saying that you are only going to hire somebody who is not a white person, like, I mean, that is racist in and of itself.
But the average anti-SJW would not ever call it reverse racism. They just call it racism.
I guess it depends who you're talking to. If you think your boss would only respond to the phrase reverse racism, then yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In that context, yeah. Because yes, I still do consider it racism, but in the context that I was speaking to them about, I said reverse or anti-racism or anti-reverse racism or whatever. But yeah, ultimately, yes, it's still racism.
Yeah, the thinking back on the clown lady, she seemed to care more about clowns than she did political ideology. So I really don't think she's any of the traditional SJW or anti-SJW.
I think she's just trolling.
I mean,
that's the hope. I mean, I hope it's only trolling.
It's
But
like most
good night,
trolls,
she is
when they're
freaking
trolling,
weird.
most trolls when they're trolling don't tend to show that degree of self-awareness in benign terms. She called herself mentally ill. Unless it's associated with a meme, that just really does not comport with the trolling I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, that's a realism understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it used in context of certain offensive memes, but she didn't use those offensive memes.
Yeah.
And this has no semblance whatsoever. But I gotta take a swig of milk. Go ahead and continue for a second. Then we'll move on to Adrian's tips on finance.
I love me a swig of milk. Oh man, just love that milk, especially when it's cold and it's creamy and it's been formed into ice cream, and specifically it's butter pecan. Yeah, that's good stuff.
I was wondering where this was going.
Yeah, see, I was like saying, what was it? White nationalist meme? No, wait. Talking about cum guzzling? No, wait. You're just talking about ice cream.
I actually had some butter pecan last night. Really good.
Holy crap! Israel just went to butter pecan. Oh no!
You have to have the nuts. You have to have the nuts.
You do, and they have to be pecan.
I know we have a script for all this, but that was an excellent improv.
Yeah, I mean, we are not talking butter walnut. No, screw that. We are talking butter pecan.
I really wrap my head around some of the clown world memes I've been seeing out there, but apparently it has all sorts of different overtones. But all right, number 5 on this list: financial advice Adrian wish he knew at 22. This is something that randomly came in my head, and I probably alluded to it before. But things I wish I knew my 22 self knew. This one didn't apply to me at 22, but a lot of people have a lot of college loan debt. Since
yes,
can't be forgiven, and I'm not going to count on any politician forgiving.
There are some programs for debt forgiveness.
It's difficult because
10 years government service.
What 2009, 2010, private institutions stopped issuing college loans, and it's all now government backed.
Does that make
it based?
I don't know. That's
yes.
I've been helping a friend who has a $60,000 private loan that she got around 2010.
It is most likely government side because there was
God no.
No,
it's not.
Check
She's
into
kind
it
of fucked.
a little bit. Maxine Waters was in front. Maxine Waters was questioning within the last 2 weeks. Chase. What are all the big banks?
A bunch of different banks, but remember they kept saying, "Well, we're no longer involved in that. We're no longer involved in that." And because very uninformed.
Yeah, because the government stipulated that banks could no longer do the federal student loans.
Actually, I don't understand.
That's different. That's different.
Really, really old, and she's showing signs of senility, and she's rich as hell. Why the hell does she keep going for office?
Who are you talking about?
Maxine Waters, because she's still going to make more money while she's in office. Yeah, I mean, once she's out of office, she'll be worth nothing. While she's in office, she's a gold mine.
I mean, think about it, Adrian. You have people who have one foot in the grave that are still in Congress trying to do things that will enrich them once they're out of Congress.
She was born in 1938. Someone do the math for me.
No shit. She is that old?
In 2018, she was
like 85, somewhere in that range.
No.
86, 85, 86.
No, 1938 would have been
38. I think it's 33.
80.
She's 80 something.
She's 81 right now.
81?
She will be turning 81.
Freaking
so like 1938.
Did you not get the memo that Social Security can start at 62 and you can maximize your benefits by what, 67?
Look, she needs a sexy Filipino butlers, and they're not going to pay for themselves.
Get
Social
that
Security is not
memo.
going to pay for them.
Regardless,
Oh.
the first tip is currently pay off your student loans because they're probably going to be at a higher interest rate than most things you can invest in. And
Well, yes, yes, almost certainly yes. But always look at the interest rate. If you have a, I'm sorry for hijacking this, Adrian.
okay.
If you have a non-variable loan, if you have a static interest loan that's at like 5%, focus on your credit card bills before paying extra into your student loans, because your credit card's going to have a higher interest rate.
And to like past that, let's go a little past that on a financial side. Whenever you're investing into a 401k, if a company matches, or even if a company does not match, what is the average interest rate that you are making, on mutual funds and whatnot?
Yeah, the mutual funds might be not bad option. Now, for the longest time, I invested in just CDs, but CDs have such a low return at this point. They
Holy
don't
shit! Really?
Wow, so go ahead.
What are you willing about?
I mean, you were CDs. Like, yeah, CDs haven't paid shit in what?
A long time.
At least 10 years.
And this is another thing I said I wish I knew earlier. Anymore, I pretty much put everything in S&P 500 stocks, and it just leave it there because on average, I mean, you usually can't beat that with managed market funds and so forth, or managed mutual funds and so forth. So I just put in S&P 500 and let it ride. Sometimes a financial advisor can be helpful, and I'm trying to eventually get to the point where I can live off the 4% rule. On average 30-year span, supposedly we average about 7% interest per year. Inflation's sitting at about 3% per year. So in theory, if you take 4% each year, you can keep your basically your inflation-adjusted principal and never wear that down, and still keep making that 4%.
Yeah,
sounds like you've been running your stuff through fire. Because inflation sure as hell ain't 3% right now.
What's that?
Because inflation sure as hell ain't 3%.
What is it now?
Oh, I said check goes under 2.
Yeah, it is pretty low right now. But essentially what Adrian and Liz are getting at.
Oh, it's sound advice.
Say it again. I missed it.
I mean, it's sound advice. It's just. And remember, the whole thing is you try to run your savings through a bunch of different scenarios. What if the financial crash 2008 happened again? What if the Great Depression happened again? And see with your current savings if you would still be able to withdraw X percentage, let's say 4% every year, and still be able to sustain yourself.
Yeah.
But they say over 30-year spans, even I think including the Great Depression or everything after the Great Depression, it still averages on 30-year spans 7% average per year.
Yeah.
Should look at the fire calculator for that kind of thing.
Fire calculators? Okay, we'll just Google fire calculator spelled like fire.
Let me double check. I'll get you the link. It's for those listening. It's a calculator for you plug in all your retirement assets into this calculator, how much you expect to withdraw in a year, and it charts out a ton of different financial scenarios to see if you will remain solvent if you're going to withdrawing this amount of money from your savings for X number of years.
Yep. But I mean, kind of the general rule is, and a lot of people don't think about this. You go into car loans and you go into mortgages and you go in this and that, and you want to pay off certain things early. Credit cards are going to be at 9.
Your debts first. Definitely credit cards first.
Yeah.
Probably your house first. Your car first.
It depends. Because like your credit cards, they're going to be at a 9+% percentage rate. So credit cards, you definitely want to pay off first. But if your investments are doing 8, 9%, 7, 6% per year, right now on a home loan, if you can do a 4 or 5%, that's a lower percentage rate. And ultimately, if you only pay the minimum on your home loan, but put that excess into your investments and they're paying 7%, then you'll make more off your investments in the long run. You know, you're losing that interest, but you're gaining more interest on your investments. And so those are some of those things that you want to think about, you know, from a financial perspective.
But if you're really going to go down that far, talking about paying mortgage, then you can't discount the value of actually having a home paid off and being able to survive on less retirement savings in a given year. You get to have a smaller tax bill, essentially.
I mean, you'll have a smaller tax bill, yes. I mean, yeah, you'll have a smaller tax bill, but your overall portfolio will still be gaining and be larger in the long term. You know, we're talking about interest and percentages. Like, if you have a home loan that's at 4% and your investments are paying out at 8%, you know, you're making more money off your investments. Granted, you're paying taxes on it.
You can't rely on your investments, constantly making 8%.
I mean, okay, so they're at 5% and your home loan is at 4%. You're still higher on your investments and building those funds up than you are at a home loan at 4%.
I kind of wonder what I'd be at right now if I'd been investing in the S&P 500 as opposed to putting in a bunch of shit in CDs for most of the time I've been out away from the university.
And you could calculate that.
That part just make me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, you would probably cry over that.
I know we probably went into esoteric areas. A lot of people listening probably wouldn't understand. What I was talking about is people for retirement funds typically have pre-tax accounts, or traditional 401k, a traditional Roth IRA.
Yep.
What I was talking about is if you no longer have to pay a mortgage and you own your own house, then you don't have to convert as much of your 401k into, you don't have to withdraw as much of your 401k in a given year, meaning you can more readily control your tax bracket. That is what I was getting at. But yeah, that's what I was getting at.
But you can do a lot of things. Try to make sure you have your investments there. You have your retirement, you have your savings, that those items are building up. You want to be able to have free cash at will if needed, which means that's not 401k. You want to make sure you build your 401k, especially if employers match. Throw as much as they match into your 401k. Try to work with a financial advisor for anything past that in regard to investments. This is just me coming off of my own experiences. And then even on the home side, honestly, like I said, I take everything off of percentages. So if I have a car loan that is 7 or 8% interest, I'm gonna pay that off and work on that more than I do investments. I'm gonna make sure to get those kind of higher interest rate things done and gone, and then anything that is a lower interest rate, like if I have investments that can make more than the lower interest rate stuff, like a mortgage, like I'm going to invest more into those, as well as shit. 1, 2, 3. Crap, where was I going?
I know we're going into pretty deep stuff.
We're going into the financial side.
For like a rule of thumb for listeners, you 22.
Try to invest.
Hi.
Well, so before you even invest, pay off your loans.
I also don't have kids out of wedlock.
Yes,
that's a bigger thing though. Try not to get into debt.
Try not to
Right.
get an unmanageable debt.
Right.
Pay off your loan every month.
From my perspective, try not to get into debt.
Yes.
You
Definitely
know,
don't major in something stupid.
yeah, I mean, try to stay out of debt. I mean,
yes.
a mortgage is a workable debt, but as much as possible, try to stay out of debt. Try to
Yeah.
build something, past that. Like, Adrian is a good example. His last vehicle, and I don't know, maybe the one prior to that too. Adrian paid cash for his last vehicle.
I bought something from some relatives for my vehicle before that, and I paid my relatives off, but that was a no interest loan.
Yeah, but try to get to the point where you have assets that you are able to build up, build up that retirement, the stuff you can't touch, but try to also have the stuff you can touch, working with an advisor and whatnot, and kind of free money, not free, but you work with them and they build your investments up to where if you need a new vehicle, you're able to move some money out, you're able to pay cash, you're able to get those vehicles, try to get yourself to that point. It's just a world better than just consistently always staying in debt. Most
Sure,
Americans, most people, I mean, I'll just say Americans, but most Americans will have a mortgage. They will be paying on that. A lot of them will have a second mortgage because they loan against it, and then they also have car payments, and they just consistently have car payments. And we don't talk about financial stuff oftentimes. And
insurance,
yeah, and yeah, everything around car,
vision,
vehicles.
dental.
So
Yeah.
I think a lot of this is. How do I put this? And if you're a young person, if you're in 22, first thing, don't hold a credit card debt. I know it's tempting.
Yes.
Don't do it. It's
Yep.
better than any investment. Pay off your credit card debt.
Yep.
So
You're next to never going to get any investment that will consistently pay higher than you're getting charged in your credit card debt. Pay off your fucking credit card.
Yep.
So here's something that I learned that I did when I was first using a credit card. Having a credit score is great for a lot of things, but only have it there, like build it up. And once you have it up, just only use a credit card for things that you know that you have the money for.
Yeah.
So for instance, grocery shopping, that is a definite need, and you know that you have the money for it. So if you have, say, like a grocery bill that's about $60 or something, $40 to $60 or something like that. Once you buy that, I mean, each bank has its own app that you can do transfers for, and you can make payments on through an app. Just quickly, once you get to your car, pay that off, and it still counts as a credit purchase, and then you paying off that debt. So it still ups your score.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean, I'll 100% advise anybody. Credit Karma, sign up for it. It's free. I mean, it's a really good service. It gives you your TransUnion and I think Equifax scores. But
well, everyone's got those now.
Huh?
Everyone's got your Equifax score at this point.
Yes, I know. Yeah, but Credit Karma, they do update it. I think it is once every week and a half to 2 weeks, somewhere in there. But yeah, sign up. And honestly, I don't know anybody who's doing what Credit Karma is. I've used them for a long time. If I could name competitors, I would. But yeah, I'm somebody that I do utilize my credit cards because I use points and whatnot. And so every 2 weeks, I pay off the credit card fully. And if you are able to do that, and I hope everybody is, you will see your credit score start to just freaking jump. Over the last 3 years, I went from, I think I was like in maybe like the low 700s a couple years ago, and now I think my credit score is somewhere now around like 820. I mean, it's one of those things. You have to utilize credit efficiently. You know, credit has been made. It's a pain in the ass. We have to utilize it sometimes, but you know, if you can kind of hack the credit system and utilizing credit cards, if you are good about making your payment, you know, utilizing credit cards is a good way to kind of hack the credit system. And just to give you a little bit of background about the credit card system, or not credit card, but credit system. So the vast majority of credit, it works off of age and payment history. So make sure you do not scalp your payment history. Whatever you pay it on time. The longer history is way better. And those are the two major considering factors outside of delinquent payments. So if you have, okay, so let's say you have 5 credit cards right now. The best thing is your oldest credit card to use. You know, I would have to look at, you know, what other credit cards you have, how long you've had them open, and whatnot. But from a payment and usage perspective, your oldest credit card is going to be the best. Your oldest credit history is going to be the best. Whenever you buy a car, you will pay for X amount of time. Say you pay it off early. Say you pay it in 3 years. Okay, it drops off. So that doesn't really help your credit history when it comes to credit terms.
3 years? Yeah, it does. It depends on the category of debt.
No.
If you're talking about that thing. Car loans are different than credit card loans, are different from housing loans, are different from student loans.
It's not going to help it all that much. I mean, if you have other short-term credit loans, yes, it will help. But if your credit history in general is longer, it's not going to help it any.
From my understanding, a lot like most events tend to, that happen for your credit history tend to expire after a period of time. I think it's 7 years.
Yeah,
so
7 years.
Yes, while your credit history absolutely matters, and how long you've held credit absolutely matters. Past a certain point in time, that's only going to be a single variable. They're not going to look at even bankruptcies after a certain period of time are no longer counted.
Yeah, bankruptcies, I'm definitely not accounting for. I'm looking at the, you know, most people haven't done bankruptcies, and so yeah, and I haven't, and so I can't throw that out into what I've done. But overall, from a credit perspective, they're looking at length of time, you know, for credit, as well as payment history. So, yeah.
I put everything's that file calculator. I wish I had a better idea what each line was, but it said to basically look to see if any of the lines go below zero. And at 40 grand a year, it wouldn't go below zero, but at 100 grand a year, it would go below zero pretty often. Though the majority of lines still look to be above the zero mark.
With what calculator?
The fire calculator.
I put it in
okay.
Liz sent the link.
Gotcha.
For people listening, still on the credit score thing. Most credit scores are based off that the rating agencies base it off of are based off of what's called a FICO score.
Yeah.
And the FICO score is actually the formula is actually published online. Not exactly the categories and what percentage each of them contributes to your credit score is published online.
Yeah.
So, like for example, your payment history, how timely you are in payment and paying your loans, 35% of your 35% of your credit score, amount you owe, such as what's your credit utilization. If you have a credit card limit of 10 grand and you consistently have 9 grand on it, that is considered pretty bad.
Yep. That exactly. That
30% of your score is from that.
Yep. That's a good note.
Length of your credit history is 15% of your score. Your mix of credit, if you have revolving debt, aka credit card debt, if you have a student loan or car loan or a mortgage, the variety of debt, if you have a variety of debt, counts for 10% of your credit score, as in more varieties is looked at as positive, as long as you do not look like you're overextending yourself.
Yep.
And new credit can actually ding you a bit.
Yeah.
If you apply for, if you were suddenly getting a bunch of new credit cards at once, the lenders look at that as if, oh my God, this person desperately needs a lot of money real quick that they don't have the means to pay for without a credit card.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a bit of a lending risk.
Which is a pain in the ass, because that's a big thing, and it really comes back to getting a car loan the vast majority of the time. You go to three different banks, and say, okay, so what are you going to do? And all of those run a credit inquiry.
They're supposed to consolidate all of those looks into and treat it as if a single hard look in your credit. They don't always do so. They're supposed to.
Special. That's so cute.
I say they're
wish that would
supposed
happen. Yeah, that doesn't happen.
That's called a hard look at your credit, where you can affect your scores. Most looks at your credit are soft looks, such as what people sending you credit card advertisements or insurance advertisements do. Those do not impact your score.
Yeah, but those hard looks do impact your score.
It's temporary, but it does impact.
Yeah, it's somewhat temporary. I mean, you're talking like 6+ months.
Yeah, so it's not life ruin. It's not going to be 7 years. That's like you said, 6 months.
Yeah, but I mean, one of the big things, you live in an apartment, you live wherever, talk to your neighbors. If you saw somebody who got a new car, a coworker, a neighbor, whoever, talk to them. This is something we don't do. Talk to people. Talk to them about who they got their loan with. Talk to them about what the interest rate is, and kind of proceed on. Because like here in Ohio, there's a local bank, Park National Bank. They, what is the standard? They do not care how old a vehicle is. Holy crap! Like they only take the interest rate based upon your credit, nothing else. There are a lot of banks who take the interest rate based upon, age of the vehicle and such. The bank here does not. So all of my, loans, if and when I get a loan, I use them because I could get a 1958 Apache, and they wouldn't care about the age of the vehicle. They only go based upon, my credit history. So make sure you try to look it up and find an actual bank or a savings loan. Well, shit. What is Park National Bank considered? A
Credit union?
yeah, a credit union.
Credit union.
Yeah, that actually like doesn't go into all those stupid intricacies, and just they see you as a person, and they finance you based off of you and your credit score. Like, it's not hard, but some of these banks still do that. Okay, that's all.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Well, what else we got in the show notes? Because we don't have much else to go off. And then I'm going to watch Louder with Crowder.
I would go more into college stuff, the college finance stuff, or college student finance stuff, or early 20s finance stuff. But I think we've covered enough for now.
Okay, we can cover some more stuff another night if you want.
Yeah, sure. There's plenty to talk about that topic.
Yes. Yeah.
Show notes and so forth.
Yeah. Liz and I will compare notes and do some fun stuff.
Yeah, I take college outright pretty much. So
I have so many opinions and so many thoughts that it just annoys the vast amount of people.
Other stuff. Robinhood ransomware increases ransom by 10K every day after 4.
Yeah.
So why is it called? Does it only infect the rich?
That's what you would hope. I mean, like the Bernies and some of those. Oh, I just went there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Robinhood, this fun little strain of ransomware. They don't really give a shit who they infect. But whoever they hit, after 4 days, they will increase the amount that is owed by $10,000 after day 4, and increase it $10,000 every day after that.
Huh.
So, yeah.
And like that should be something, and it sounds familiar, like a ransom. You don't pay.
Oh, I mean ransom. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like yeah, to get people to actually pay it, I would update. Hypothetically, you would write the ransom amount to go higher and higher, because then you would get more money. So that doesn't surprise me at all. What was it? What was the ransomware doing?
Yeah, you get more money. The vast majority of organizations don't pay the ransom, which we've statistically seen time and time again.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see
What was this ransomware targeting? What was Robinhood targeting?
I don't know. Read the article.
It's other stuff. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I will go and read the article, and viewers watching, you should go read it too. There, my cringe joke for the night.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, Robinhood, if they're able to hit like a Fortune 100, Fortune 500, yeah, it's going to be a big deal. But currently, we haven't seen them hit anywhere near that scale. So it's
cool.
It's mainly interesting because now they've introduced this concept that we'll probably see played out in future ransomware.
Right, and someone's probably got the source code somewhere that's going to get shared among friends, and eventually friend of a friend, friend of a friend, and everyone will just have that same kind of code or whatever.
Yeah, but screw it. Even if you don't have the code,
you could just have it on a timer.
That's one of those things I can make, and I'm at best a scripter.
At
best.
Yeah, you could have at start date, if best. Start date,
and I can do that. So
you could do it. Just be like if get date or just having an infinite loop at the end of your statement or at the end of your code, just to be like, if date is equal to start equal to initial date.
I can do a countdown very easily. It's not hard. Yeah. From a scripting perspective, I could easily do that. So
right, but then there's also the issue of what if someone just puts the time back all the way to like January 1st, 1971. Does that mean that they pay you?
Yes.
With how we're coding it, it would go off system data or system stuff.
Either way you take this question, yes, they will pay me. Yes. Caprico,
$20
to $20.
20. You just said it to me like 20. You had to give me $20.
No, you owe me. I didn't say I gave you any. You owe me $20.
All right, whatever. See you at DerbyCon, dude.
If not before.
Maybe. Yeah.
Most likely. Yeah. Okay, and yes, that is the last thing for tonight.
Well, I'm catching everybody next week. I'm going to go ahead and let the stream go for y'all to continue talking. I don't think I'm going to hop off for at least a while. I may come back much later on, but then again, I may not. You never know. Everybody, thank you for joining us on the cast.
Later.
Bye.